Oh, hello everybody. How's it going today? Oh. That's no, it's okay. Welcome everybody. What? Okay, hold on. It changed it fucked me on the source again. There we go. Try it. Try it now. No, okay, alright. Hold on! Ah!
That's why I never stream. That's Silver's fault, not mine.
There we go. Alright.
Are we out of the box?
Are we out of the bag? Are we free?
Hello?
Is this what it looks like? Is this what is this bright thing? Is this light? Is this what the light is? Quick, everybody, get your mouth full of fresh air. We're getting back in the sack. Oh my god.
Alright, well, I'm gonna put them back in the mines now. There we go. There we go. Hopefully that little timeout will help him out there. All right, let's check. Let's check in. Did that work? Did I put you guys back in? Now you can get out. Is everyone behaving?
I don't know.
I don't want to talk.
Do we ever behave? Yeah, we don't want to talk about it. Yeah. I put a high chew in my mouth. There you go. That's my answer.
Hum num.
Right. Welcome everybody. Welcome. It is the Goblins time. So, just a little heads up to all of you wonderful folks. You can follow these wonderful people here at these links for our project. Also, hi Anime, good to see you. We have Cuber, thank you very much for the contribution to the pool. That is very kind of you.
I'll get the hot sauce.
No. Was that? I think we turned off the quick fires for goblins. You're safe. Zach, was that a currency conversion thing, or
I don't know. It ends in 69.
Yeah, because the 69 seems intentional. Okay, well, thank you very much. It's very appreciated, Zach.
I don't know if I just take another shot of hot sauce or
no. The quick fires are not on for goblins.
You can do the hot sauce without someone redeeming if you want.
Yeah. If you just want to do hot sauce shots, we're not stopping you.
Damn. Is
this just what your life is now? You crave hot sauce? Did they open up an awakening inside you that you didn't know you had?
The only way I feel like there's something inside of me.
I can make you feel like there's something inside of you.
Oh my
god! Funny joke.
Son of a bitch.
Sorry, you set that up perfectly.
I did. I knew it was gonna happen, and I still allowed it. And now I'll do my hot sauce shot.
Hot sauce shot, dude. That sucks. Are you gonna actually do that right now?
No, I'm just doing this for fun.
For fun?
Yeah, absolutely. Nothing gets my gobble more in the motto than having a hot sauce shot of Chipotle agave hot sauce.
Shot.
Yes, exactly.
Oh god, it's hot.
Yep.
Okay. All right. Speaking of the other half of the things I always say at the start before we get started, if you guys enjoy the broadcast and want to help support us, the Goblin Bullshit Pool is increased by every contribution of $10 over bits, subs, and donations. So if you would like to increase the pool, we would love that, because all of that goes towards helping increase our assets and pay for things for the broadcast. So it's very kind of those of you who donate, but please also don't ride the struggle bus for us. We just appreciate any support anyone is willing to provide. So, with all that said and done, goblins, are you ready?
Yeah.
Maybe.
All right.
No, that was good enough for you. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted you to like fight me for it, but
No. Maybe it's good enough in this instance.
okay.
It's potential.
We'll
But
take it.
yeah, 100%. Let me go with a forest. Because that's a good ambience. Also, I'm going to mute this tab so that you guys don't hear overlapping amounts of forest and think you're in another dimension.
Aww.
And then we're going to hit this button. Whoop.
Wait, a forest?
Mm-hmm. It's just good general ambience. So, we awaken once more at Goblinz Manor following a harrowing evening of undead shenanigans and the updated information of a current deal with a particular queen of the witches whose name rhymes with Naga
Aga?
yeah, Aga.
Uh-huh.
So,
Uh-huh.
with all of that chicanery out of the way, and now a night's rest out of the way for Dixie in the pile of hats and the goblin-filled wife tree. Also, Jasmine, I don't know what's going on, but I'm hearing like a straw through your microphone.
Sorry.
No, so it's okay.
Woohoo! All
That
I
is
heard
so
was a little
cute.
owl. It was really cute.
That is
Meow.
really cute. But yes, now that you guys have woken up and become one with the day star as it burns its searing rays into your eyes.
Fucking hate the day star.
Right? We are now forced with the situation at hand to push forwards into the realm of the following day after a whole bunch of crazy shit. So, I guess the most important question I have for you guys is, what do you want to do? How do you want to start off this new day?
I'm probably gonna go make breakfast. That's what I usually do.
All right, Desi's making breakfast. Snooty, how are you starting the day?
Snooty is still in bed, enjoying sleep. Big honk shoe falls out of bed.
All right.
Is just laying on the floor now. That's her morning. Okay.
All right. So
Newt-
laying on the floor for Snooty, got it. Newt, what about you? What's your course
Newt's
of
gonna
action?
get up and do what she does every morning. She's gonna climb down. First of all, she's gonna do the exact same she does every morning, which is lift up Snooty and carry her back into bed. Because this happens
Thank
every
you,
morning.
wife. Every morning.
And then she's gonna go out and try in vain to defeat the #1 enemy of other wife. So she'll be in the backyard trying to attack the sun.
That is a reasonable undertaking. What are you attacking it with, by the way?
Clearly my only ranged weapon, which is a sling.
All right. Newt standing in the backyard firing rocks from a sling at the sun. I like this. This is good. This is very appropriately goblin-y behavior.
It's a very difficult enemy.
It is.
Mocks me at every turn.
I can understand your position against this creature. One
day, Newt believes one day she'll do some damage to it. One day. It's so good. It's so good at dodging, though.
So, with that, Dixie, you awaken in a pile of hats.
Wait, I don't get to decide what I'm doing this morning?
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna go down to the table where, like the dining table, and just kind of pout.
You're
I'm
gonna.
dejected.
Yeah. From the
Yeah,
following evening.
yeah.
That
Well,
is fair.
from the previous evening.
Oh right. You know, you're right. That is the correct
Yeah.
order of statement.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So,
Feel pissy about it.
Desi, what are you gonna do as you create breakfast for everybody?
Well, I'm taking like 3 potatoes and I'm gonna grate them, and then I'm gonna start hash browns, and then I'm gonna do probably I'm probably gonna do some what's the word? Rough cakes, which are essentially like they're not pancakes, they're like cornmeal like fritter things that were more common back in the day. And then just do some eggs and some bacon. And I'll probably be doing that while I watch out the window and watch Newt try to attack the sun. To which, Desi's to just get like a dumb little grin on her face while she's, basically prepping. And then when Dixie comes in and sits her ass down at the wait, I can't even see the dining room table, can I? I need like I need like an indoor map. I'm pretty sure the two are separated by walls. Ugh. Yeah. Can we have the map of the manor?
You want the map of the manor? Yeah, okay, we can do that.
Yeah. I mean, if
No, we got it.
yeah.
We should use it.
Yeah.
All right, Scarnetti Manor, or rather, Goblissi Manor. I really need to relabel it. Let me just.
Oh yeah, there's no fucking way I can see Dixie. She's just sitting at the dinner table.
All right. Are you at the head of the table, Dixie?
Hold on, I had to re-enable hardware acceleration so that it didn't suck really bad. No, I'll just randomly sit at one of these seats, just in the middle.
All right, perfect. Let me show everybody.
I'm dejected. Normally, I'd sit at the head of it because I'm like really proud of myself, but right now I'm just upset.
You know, that's a fair compromise.
How come there's a giant exclamation mark on the map?
Oh, what? Is there?
On mine, I don't know what it is.
Yeah, what is that?
I don't see any giant exclamation mark on my map.
I don't see it either.
I don't see it either, but you know what? I'm giving Newt the benefit of the doubt.
Okay.
Where is it located?
You know what? It's fine. I'll just send you a picture of it.
That's probably a good idea. It might be the Lizzie token? Or do you see Lizzie? Oh, that's much
You're also
larger.
at night.
Yeah, that might need to refresh. That's interesting.
What the fuck?
Oh,
nope,
well,
it's still nighttime and still hasn't.
Interesting. All right. Well, the token positions
Are you logged
still...
in under your character?
Yeah, it says Jasmine is in on Newt.
I don't know. I guess I'll just ignore it.
What the fuck? Okay, Foundry. Anyways, let's see. We have quite the cohort with Newt now as well. You've got the dog Dixie, you have Steve, Stevetta, and Lizzie. You're quite the NPC wrangler there, Newt.
Yeah. Don't forget New T.
Oh yeah, Newt.
Yeah,
T.
and
I should
Shroomy.
probably make a
And Shroomy.
And the dog that we call Dix.
No, we have Dixie.
And Gwilly.
All right, how much? Yeah, but Ghoulie or it's more like under Snooty primarily, although relatively equivalent. I mean, Ghoulie regards all of you as the leaders, but how many of your cohort are out here attacking the sun with you, Newt? This is very important information.
Liz, where's the lake? I'm gonna do it near the lake.
Okay.
Well, no, actually, that's actually where I'm at's good, because then, Lizzie's probably chilling in the lake. I feel like that's where she sleeps.
Oh, okay. So Lizzie hangs out in your little lake pond thing.
And I mean, Steve and Stevetta are probably helping me.
All
and
right.
Dix is probably just like chilling, laying on the ground, taking a nap wherever I'm at.
I'm probably taking a nap under this tree over here.
Yeah.
All right. So we've got Lizzie in the pond. We've got Snooty on the floor from the wife tree. Snooty, do you awaken or
No, I put Snooty back in the wife tree.
Oh, okay.
Don't worry, she has fallen out of the wife tree again and is now waking up to go get food.
Okay.
it was like, thank you, wife. Chew, honk, chew. Guess it's time to get up in the morning.
Classic Snooty.
Classic Snooty. Gets up, walks all the way, kicks open dining room door, sits next to Dix. Out of all the other chairs, sits right down next to Dixie.
All right. So there is let's see here. No, I think we're good on that front. So what were you trying to do, Desi, that you needed line of sight for Dixie?
I'm just trying to watch her basically fire shit at the sun.
Oh, you mean Newt?
Or Newt, yeah. Well, I'm cooking. I would need like these doors open.
Gotcha. All right. Well, in that case, do you want to return to where you were originally visible from the kitchen, Newt, or do you want to stay where I moved you?
Oh, that's fine. Yeah, move about where originally was.
Okay.
Yeah, you're good.
There we go. Now
we take our starting positions very seriously.
Very important. You never know when some shit might go down, and we need to know all the exact token locations. It's very important. It's very important.
I mean, honestly, though, we don't even know what we're gonna get up to sometimes, so it's really important.
Oh, Newt. Jasmine, can you try moving Steve for me? His token.
Yeah. Steve, move over there. Steve did not listen.
Damn it. I really thought I had the right setting this time. I will figure out how to give you control of these NPCs.
What a bitch.
Alright, Desi, what are you making for breakfast?
Hmm?
What are you making for breakfast?
Well, I already said once, but I'll say it again. I'm making rough cakes, which are basically cornmeal fritters, cooked in basically lard, which would be more appropriate for back in the day than pancakes. Hash browns, eggs, and bacon. So.
Alright, sounds like a pretty decent start. So Snooty is now sitting at the dining room table. Has, Snooty, have you been permitting Oleg to go home, or, like, does he just live here now?
Oh, no, Snooty doesn't even say go home. She's just, like, usually is like, oh, go upstairs, go sleep. Waves hand, dismiss.
Alright, well...
She's basically kidnapped him. So.
Gotcha. No, that's entirely fair. Alright, so Oleg comes down and takes a seat beside you, Snooty, waiting for breakfast as well. And,
Hi, Oleg!
He nods to you and says, I heard there was quite a lot that, came to pass last night.
How much did they tell you?
Well, there was some problems with the goblins, and a lot of them died. That's about all I really know, honestly.
Good.
Snooty, what do you say to Oleg in that?
Personally, I have no idea what happened. All I know is that I ran up, there was a bunch of dead goblins, and we went into a house and fought a bunch of other dead goblins, and it was like, whoa. And then she does like a slow blink, look at him, and just goes, yeah, no, I don't know.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, that is gonna sit with Oleg, I suppose, okay, but he's definitely gonna be confused still about exactly what has been going on or what exactly has come to transpire. So as he's sitting here just kind of like waiting for breakfast, Newt, as Desi completes breakfast, are you still just gonna occupy yourself with attacking the sun, or is this a morning ritual that you then just eventually give up on and go?
Yeah. It's like a morning ritual, and then once breakfast is done, I'll go to breakfast and be like, tomorrow, sun, and glare, staring into the sun.
All right. Oh my god. Yeah. Oh, all right. So yeah, you roll up and take a seat here. And Stevetta is very fascinated with this ritual, this being the first time she's introduced to probably not only what you're doing today, but the concept of the sun itself. So that's been interesting for her. Stevetta eventually join you. Oh, excuse me, in the dining room on either side of your body, and Stevetta is a little confused as to why she was, coaxed to sit in this chair, or what the fuck everything in front of her is. So, Newt, do you want to help her out?
If I was giving Steve a chance to like explain things, but if he's struggling, which I assume he is, then
you know
Newt
what?
will take over.
Let's give Steve an intelligence roll. Let's see how well he. Oh, actually, he's not doing a shit terrible job on that. Let's give you a little swapsies here. So Steve changes places with you and basically is like, through his limited understanding of existence, manages to convey to her that, like, this is the place where food shows up. If you use these devices to eat food, people will be less likely to take your food away from you, essentially, is what it breaks down to.
Yeah.
I can't
Which is exactly how Newt would have taught him.
Yeah, exactly.
And as he's doing good, Newt's gonna like look at him like a proud mom, just like, so happy, so proud of him.
Dixie will be curled up on the corner, and
Yeah,
I'm
I've got
gonna
my head
assume
buried
that
in my arms, just like leaning down onto the table.
Oh no, we're talking about other dicks.
Oh my god.
the dog.
Thank you. It's not confusing at all.
Well, I normally call it dicks. The bird in the sky keeps calling it the wrong name.
Oh, you know what? That's fair. I will call the dog Dix. Meanwhile, is Lizzie ever invited in for food, or do you think it's probably best she just stays out in the water?
She normally just stays in the pond, and I go out and throw food to her, or if she doesn't, catch deer or something. That comes by to drink from the pond.
That is a reasonable discourse. All right, so you now have 6 hungry, 5 hungry goblins and a hungry half-orc at the table, Desi. How would you like to bring in the breakfast?
Here, I sent the perfect gift to show you what happens if if she doesn't catch food.
So I'm going to imagine that the manor has like a little like push table, because like that just seems like fancy. So I'm just gonna start stacking up this fucking like little waiter like wheelie tray. Yeah, and then oh yeah, I better get the silverware. Yeah, silverware. Yeah, okay. Yeah, and just oh, yep, okay. squeaky, squeaky, squeak goes the wheels as I push that, through the kitchen and to the door, which I back into, so they open, and I just drag the cart through, and I just kind of, do the whole breakfast is served thing. And, we'll pull in, and we'll give Newt and Steve their plates, we'll dish them up, and then we'll get Stevetta, of course. And, Dixie the dog gets some bacon and a rough cake. And then Snooty and Dix both get their plate of food. Snooty gets the kiss on the forehead. Dix just gets kind of like a whatever. Oleg gets their food. And then I'm going to go sit here and give Newt peck on forehead and then just take a seat with my own and just leave the tray somewhere over here.
Hell yeah. Alright, now that everyone has food, is the air of the morning meal kind of awkward after last night's discourse about what Dixie went over, or is
Newt's
everyone...
acting like every other morning.
Okay.
Like, she already forgot.
So normal.
Desi's the only person that, when making eye contact with Dix, is just sort of squinting. She's not trying to make eye contact. Like, she's not trying to start
There's
shit.
no eye contact. My head is shoved in my arms.
Well, that's
Are you
a bad
eating?
way to eat food.
I'm not eating.
You don't pull the plate under your arms and just kind of...
Yeah, just like stealth hoover it. Like, what the fuck? I thought this is how you normally eat. You just
Vacuum. Yeah.
Yeah, you're like a little anteater.
Yeah, I don't use my arms. I mean, why would I? I don't use my hands. I'll
Yeah,
just lean forward.
yeah. See? That's kind of how we thought it worked, honestly, for you. Like, we,
Uh-huh.
Is that on how it works for you?
So anyway.
Alright. Does anyone want to strike any conversations at the breakfast table?
I tried to defeat the Dayman, but it was a failure. I will get them next time. I am sorry.
That is okay. I heard that the only thing that can, defeat the Dayman is the Nightman. Yeah.
I know. I am on a constant lookout for the Nightman.
Yeah. Just make sure you're also watching out for the troll.
Oh yeah, but I have not mastered karate. I have the friendship thing down, but I need to master karate.
Oh, gotcha. Good. Jesse's gonna look at Steve. Yeah, you have to be careful of troll because you know that you're gonna have to pay the troll toll if you run into the troll, Steve. And then Jesse's gonna go back to eating and then just pat Newt on the shoulder and be like, "You will get them next time. Don't worry."
X, you want some food?
No.
Not you. Offers food to Dix.
It gets so confusing.
I'm gonna put the dog down and save myself.
Well, the question is, are you the dog now, or is it just the, like...
That's not a question. You said the question is. That's wrong. That was never a question.
Oleg looks over at Snooty, who I assume, Snooty, you're just scarfing it down as you always do, yes?
Yep. Wholeheartedly. Two-handing, like, just shoveling the food in, grabbing fork and knife, trying to look professionally, like, oh, I'm a lady, and then just, like full on.
Like using the utensils to just absolutely gobble it down.
Like, every so often, putting things down, grabbing a napkin, dabbing slightly, very lightly on her face, and then and continuing shoveling it.
Yes, so there is Hmm.
Do you want a minute
Yeah.
to think?
Oleg looks at you, Snooty, as you're doing that, with his usual kind of like wistful admiration and bemusement at your highly ladylike behavior. And he looks down at you and goes, "So, Empress Snooty, how's that feel, huh? You're a big shot now."
She has like a huge mouthful of food and she's just like stops shoveling and looks up at him. Right. I Empress.
He just like gives like a big grin of like, "Oh boy," and leans forward and says, you got to be careful, because if you're the one in charge of all the goblins, you might end up having to deal with a whole bunch of," like pointing at all the other goblins at the table, "a whole bunch of other people, or other goblins, I should say, coming to see if they're gonna be able to be your wife slash husband too."
Oh. Puts all the food down. Looks at Desi. Desi, what do?
Huh? What? Pardon? Sorry, I was really snoshing on this rough cake. What did you say?
Help. Oleg bring up good point.
What is good point?
Points to Oleg to repeat, because Brian's small.
Yeah, sorry, I wasn't paying attention.
Oleg, repeated, please.
Oh, well, I was just trying to explain to Snooty that, because she's the one in charge now, I mean, I'm not too familiar with how, like, nobility works, but I know that they do lots of, like, political marriages. So, because Snooty already has three, um, oh, sorry, two, um, marriage partners. Actually, I don't, I'm not going to ask that question. Um, it might set a precedent that there might not be like an upper limit on that, so other goblin tribes and stuff might come and try to marry your wife.
What you are trying to say is that my wife should implement a fuck quota. I will take my 2 XP now, thank you.
I don't. Does that count if you just make the big DM, lose his shit laughing, not necessarily put on the eyebrows?
You know what? You are right.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it sounds like she needs a fakuta. And really, she's the only person that can put that in. You see, as she's the Empress of Goblins, she sets her own rules now. She could have 10 wives, or she could have 2 wives, and then she could just have concubines. It's really up to her.
Oleg looks at, like, I assume, Newt, you're like in between eating, you're also like happily nodding as you're overseeing Steve, teaching Stevetta some incredibly basic shit.
100%.
He looks at you, Newt, and goes, "What about you, Newt? You're married to Snooty. What's your opinion of political marriages?"
What?
Like, okay, if a goblin comes from another tribe, right, and they're a big tribe, and they marry Snooty, that would create an alliance. So what do you think about that?
I'm just gonna slow blink at him.
Why would it matter who Snooty wanted to marry?
Well, I don't know how it works for goblins, right? But in a lot of noble societies, um, like kings and lords and all that shit, they get married to each other and marry other people and do marriages to do political things, you know, like Princess A marries Duke B.
What? Hold on. Why would they marry to make alliance? Why wouldn't they just, you know, force the alliance or exchange, goods for the alliance? Why
Well,
would they?
I
You're not making any sense.
well, I mean, I was just, technically that's also a thing, right? Like you could trade.
Do you think that someone that would throw their child into a baby pit to see who came out stronger would care what happens if they marry off their child?
Oleg looks very thoughtful.
Wife has how answer properly in common. Wife has good input.
Normally, they only marry other tribe if they are also strong tribe and want to, make this tribe stronger and the two like each other. But you don't need to do the marry part. You can just, what's the word when two things, merge? No? Okay.
I don't know words.
That thing.
Oleg is having trouble understanding too. He's not sure what you're asking, so he just kind of
Improbate. Intrigate. When they both merge and live as one and become one big tribe.
Thanks.
You
Internet.
either become one big tribe or you are just two tribes that
I think I know what you mean. Like it's like interment, intranate. It's he looks over at Desi and says, "Desi, you know words. You wrote things. What are we talking about here?"
Desi's gonna pause, stuffy, basically like food in her face, and then she's gonna look a little blank at him, and she's gonna say,
yeah, intrigate. That's the one.
She's gonna hold up one finger and the other finger, and then she's just gonna have them be parallel to each other, then she's gonna push them together.
Yeah, that.
Yeah.
So then you have one big goblin tribe.
He looks at the two of you and to Snooty, and then looks back and goes, "You know what? I think it's probably not a big concern now that I think about it."
So anyway, Steve, you're doing a great job. Continue.
Steve just turns to you and is like, "Yeah," and he picks up like one of the flour things on the table and goes, "Don't eat these. They're decorative.
Even though they taste delicious, don't eat them."
Yeah, not the food." And Stevetta looks incredibly confused. Meanwhile, Oleg looks over to Dixie. Dixie, have you eaten any of the food that was put there, or are you still head down with your arms
Hell
over?
no.
Alright, Oleg notices the food that hasn't been touched, and then just kind of leans over and goes... Looks at Snooty, and then just kind of nudges her and says, Is Dixie alright? That they're not eating.
Looks over at Dixie. Are you currently wearing Frank, like usual?
Yeah.
Frank, why Dixie not eating their food? Are you gonna eat it? Can I have it? Can I just like slowly starts reaching over
Frank does not move and does not speak.
What about Dixie? Does Dixie as well do that?
I'm ignoring.
All right.
I'm just saying, like, they can't hear
No,
things.
I got you, but I'm just double checking if there's anything coming along that's saying, don't take the
Nothing.
plate. All right.
I'm not saying don't take it. I'm not saying that it's fine to take it. I'm just not going to say a damn thing.
All right, Snooty, you don't get a yes or a no. What do you do?
Food covered hand touches Dix's arm and just pats it and goes, There, Dixie. I don't know why you're being such a grumpy puss, but you should eat some food. And like wipes her hand on your arm and then licks her hand clean and then continues to eat.
Oh, gross.
Elegant.
Can I get a perception roll from everyone here, please?
But
Now, you folks at home might be wondering, is Silver pulling a the goblin comes through the hospital window moment right now?
Goblin come.
Oh my god.
I'm sorry.
Everybody gets 2 XP.
You said it.
So-
It came out of your mouth.
Cum came out of
You were
Silver's
supposed
Please
to
stop implying
swallow!
goblin cum came out of my mouth.
No. Certified Fudo moment.
Oh my
You were supposed to swallow. If I let
I
to say
can't
that on
believe
Twitch,
it.
I'm not gonna
Silver's a
question it, I'm
quitter.
god.
He's not a quitter. He's a spitter.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
Same thing.
spitters are quitters.
Oh.
Alright, you get the highest roll on perception there, Newt. So you're the first one to hear it. You hear outside of the house. Well, maybe I should do this. This might work a little
I never
bit better.
rolled.
Alright. Newt, you hear it first, and Dixie, you hear it, but you can choose whether you actually care or not. As it follows up. So you hear a sound outside that sounds like something like gently dragging along the wall of the building. It seems
What's
to be
that
coming from-
noise?
Nobody else really hears it as clearly, Newt. You only kind of pick it up. It's a very subtle, like almost scraping along the bricks of the wall. Do you want to do anything about this sound, or are you just gonna keep eating?
Newt's gonna get up
Shut
and
up,
look
Newt.
and go investigate.
So Dixie, you hear it, but you tell Newt to shut up.
Yeah.
All right, where do you go, Newt?
Towards the sound.
All right, it sounds like it's coming from like this wall over here.
I will go toward that wall and look out.
All right, you're gonna like squeeze up against the window and look out, or are you gonna check it some other way?
I'm gonna open the window and just look out.
These
Is it
big
open?
No, these are like big
Oh.
decorative windows that don't open.
Where's the closest door outside?
That would be this one.
Alright, I'm gonna go to that door and look outside.
All right. You can move your token. You can see, as you're looking along, you can see there is a rather unpleasant-looking undead goblin that is just kind of like... It seems to respond every time it hears something from within. It just drags its head, like, further along the wall, listening. Like, every time there's noise, it just seems to move forwards and then stop. And as you come out, it takes note of you and just starts kind of coming forwards. So
Once it
as
steps into the light, can I see it?
Yes, it's once it leaves the shade of the house, you can see it very clearly as like an undead goblin.
What you want?
It just kind of stands there for a minute, and anybody who wants to inside can see that there is literally just this undead goblin standing there in front of the window for a moment. If anyone has a reaction to that inside, they're welcome to. Otherwise, I will continue.
There's more of them. reaches over to Dixie's plate and takes just a handful of food and then slowly brings it back.
Hey, what are you doing there?
Desi, what about you? Any reactions?
Oh. I'm just gonna walk over to this window. And I'm gonna peek out there.
All right, you can see that the as you get up to the window, you can see this undead goblin as paused here, and as you're coming close to it, it starts to like slowly shamble towards Newt. It looks like one of its legs might be broken. It's like not moving very quickly at all. But as it passes in front of this window, it continues southwards to where Newt is like, "Hey, what are you doing?" Basically.
Can I get a fortitude save?
You want to do a fortitude save?
Yeah.
All right, go ahead.
No, I want them to do a fortitude save.
Oh, the goblin.
Uh-huh.
Can turn undead work through glass? I'm pretty sure it can.
Yeah.
I don't know why it wouldn't, but I just want to make sure. Or sorry, disrupt undead. It's just C. You just have to be able to visually identify it. I'll say that works. I mean, I don't. Rule of cool. Fuck you, official rules. Alright, it's gonna take a fortitude. It passes.
Yeah,
All
that's
right,
crazy.
It's still as it's walking towards you, Newt, and you're like, rah, 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 like an energy shifts through the window, like it kind of warps through it a bit as Desi just stands there and casts Turn Undead, or Disrupt Undead, and the creature falls to the ground. Let's see here. It's barely alive. Like the hit that it takes just disintegrates like half of its upper body, and its other leg gives way. So now it's just dragging itself by one arm in your direction, Newt. So what do you want to do about that, Newt?
What are you doing here?
It's
Oh, I thought you were one of them. I don't know what's happening. Suddenly, the whole other manor was infested by zombies.
It continues to pull itself forwards, not speaking to you, just trying to get towards you. But it is incredibly slow as it just hand drag. Are you gonna still stand where you are, Newt?
What's the stats on the fiery dog slicer?
Oh, did I not add it to your inventory? I thought I did.
Oh, okay. I don't. Oh, wait. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
If I
don't
put
see
it,
like a.
Yeah, there you go. It's in your actions now. Oh, you have to draw it. There you go. It should be in your actions list now and usable.
Stop it!
Oh, stop it! You stop it! Stop. Why? Who is this woman with her natural 20s just pouring out of her?
I don't know.
Every fucking game. Alright, well this thing barely had any health left, so you just... how do you finish it off?
She's like bopping it on the head.
Okay. With the blade or with the hilt?
With the side of the blade.
Alright. You bap it on the top of the head, and its head bursts into an eruption of fire. And then it just kind of like goes... and its head just crumbles to ash and kind of blows away in the morning wind. And it seems that there might still be one or two of these random undead goblins amongst the area.
Walks back inside. There was a zombie. I gave it the kendo speech and it still kept coming.
Yeah, I gave it the zap. You know.
Sits back down and starts eating, like as if nothing happened.
Well, that was strange.
That was weird. Nom nom.
It's like she went outside and took life just as easy as it was for some others to go outside and take a smoke break.
It was unlife, first of all.
Right.
I don't have a clue, darling.
Huh? What?
Goes back to
What?
eating since after had to say darling somewhere in there to finish the kendo speech.
Oh, gotcha. Understandable. Okay. I'm confused, but you know what? I'm sure there's not any more than one zombie anyway. What is the chances that another zombie will show up? Pretty small.
You hear a dragging coming from the hallway.
A dragon! No!
Oh, no, not the dragon! No! Protect the life chain!
You hear dragging coming from the hallway, and it sounds like there's a bit of a commotion.
1 second, let me go let Ghoulie out.
Ghoulie! I assisted.
As you go out and as you go out into the hallway, you can see Wiggums is in the hall, and he appears to be caught up in something. You're not entirely sure what he's tangled up in. It looks like maybe a net or like some roping or something, but he's just kind of struggling with it. And he turns to look at you as you come out into the hall and goes, could you help me?
Yeah, I suppose.
No, is it another one? I can bop it.
No, it's just Wiggums.
Oh, Wiggums? I can bop it.
Wiggums, as you're taking the ropes off of him, he looks up with like a bit of an incredulous stare and goes, Wiggums does not need bopping. Thank you.
No, Wiggums doesn't need bopping. No, Wiggums, if you're going to play with a special lifetime rope, you need to at least know how to untangle yourself. It's really important to have at least one other person around, and this is how you avoid situations like this.
Yeah, if you can't play with lifetime rope by yourself, it's dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
How did Wiggums get lifetime rope?
I don't know, maybe Wiggums is a player. Oh, this makes a lot of sense. Wiggums likes a goblin wife that takes charge. Wiggums, who tried to peg you? Tell me, Wiggums.
Wiggums looks at you incredulously, and he doesn't really know what the fuck you're implying, but is just like really confused about this, and he goes, Wiggums, people went, what is pegging?
But the mayor has a book that explains all about that.
Yeah. Don't worry. The sheriff knows a lot about the subject.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Oh god. Oh god.
We used to say that he had to stick up his ass, but now we know better.
I think she pulled the bumblebee maneuver on him.
And that's why he has a stick up his ass. Because the bumblebee maneuver. Thanks for patenting a new sex move and then you use that.
Oh my goodness.
For those of you that don't know at home and you're wondering what the fuck the bumblebee maneuver is, it's when somebody's using a strap-on and you're doing some bedtime bee play, and at the moment of climax, they just unsnap the strap-on and fall over and curl up like a dead bee. There
So
you go.
they just leave. Oh, that's so. Oh,
Uh-huh.
Oh my god.
I've never heard of that.
I made it up on Thursday.
Could someone help demonstrate for me?
Oh my
Sure. I'll be right there.
Oh my god. Wiggums is just completely confused at these exchanges, and now he feels like he's being somehow
Can we
implicated
combine
in
it with the
being
Poggers technique?
some kind of weirdo. Because he's now stuck in this rope. So he's like very eager to eject himself from this rope, and he just like he's a little flustered in the face, and he just goes, I smelled food. Is there food? Can I have some food, please?
Yeah, you can come have some food. You probably worked up an appetite. Come on in.
Fuck's sakes. He stops at the doorway and looks around to see like where the best choice of seating is. And he just he looks at where Snooty's sitting and is confused. And then he just kind of looks at the table for a minute, and then he just starts sort of going like over here. Does anyone make any mention of where he's sitting, or do you just let him take a seat there?
Hey, no, you don't sit there. That's Ghoulies' chair. You sit next to Dixie.
All right.
There you go.
Wrong Dixie. No, I am kidding. You're fine. Here, let me get you a plate.
All right.
I'll have you know, I thought for a decent amount of time trying to think on if I wanted to push him over or not.
I was about to ask, do you do anything when
Wiggums I won't.
sits next to you? All right. So
no,
you
I'm
give
dejected. I'm locking reality away. I'm in my own world right now.
Wiggums takes the plate and he looks at it and he looks like excited. He's like, oh my god, look at this food. So he just kind of he looks at all of you and then looks at, are there napkins on the table, by the way, or was that not I think we already applied
there are napkins, yes.
Okay. Wiggums gives a little thought and takes the napkin and tucks it haphazardly into the his shirt, basically. And then he takes the knife and fork and just starts eating with all the practiced capability of somebody who has tried their best to look civil, but it doesn't really understand if that is the case or not. And Wiggums is just he's starting to put it away and eat it, and he's not trying to overtly express how much he's enjoying it, but he is very much so increasing the pace of his consumption. So he's just kind of and he looks over at you, Desi, and he kind of slows down a little bit and goes, who made this food?
Oh, that would be me.
It's good.
Thank you. Yeah, there's not even any frog or rat in it. It is potato and rough cakes and bacon and eggs.
Does Wiggums have clothes on?
Yes. Wiggums does not like being naked. He'll always have clothes on. They don't smell great, though.
Because I mean, I assume, right? That all the goblins are naked, right?
Okay, well, quick poll. Who, Dixie, are you clothed?
Yeah.
Okay, Snooty, are you clothed?
Nope.
Are Desi, are you clothed?
You should know this by now. Snooty
Yeah,
does
I'm fine
not.
bacon. I ain't that brave.
Snooty don't wear clothes
That's
in
fair.
their house.
The Empress's new clothes. Newt, are you
Ask if I'm
clothed?
wearing clothes will friend
Nope.
bacon. I'm like
Okay.
a psychopath.
Would you have encouraged Steve to be wearing clothes? Otherwise, he wouldn't be.
No, only if Steve. I think Steve knows by this point that it's once we leave the house, we have to make sure we have clothes on because
right. Now I'm just
society.
relating to the part where you were attacking. Now 3 naked goblins attacking the sun creates an even more amusing visual. All right, Oleg has gotten used to this by now, and Wiggums, he lives with a goblin tribe. He's not super phased by it. So overall, everyone here is pretty cool with the whole, like, it's my morning, I don't need to wear clothing. So there you
Wiggums
go.
is the type of person that has sex with socks on, isn't he?
I mean, that's probably a fair assessment. He doesn't bother with other goblins being naked, but he himself is the kind of person who goes to bed wearing a suit. He's very, he holds a lot to that kind of thing. However, he's a goblin, so he doesn't know how to properly tend to it. That's why a lot of his shit is very patchworky, because he wears through these fancy clothes pretty quickly, and he also doesn't clean them. So, he doesn't smell great.
Wait, Hunt, I have to know. War Bandit brings up a good point. Does the wig stay on in bed?
I think
like
if
when he's
Wiggum's
getting
ever
sexy
had
time,
anybody in bed, I think it might.
Does wig stay on?
Does Wiggum seem like a goblin who fucks? Is probably a more important question.
He had power. There has to be some goblin that wanted power.
He had power from a very fucked up dynamic.
I mean,
Wiggums didn't have a tolerant partner, shall we say. But that's a question for Wiggums to answer more in roleplay if it comes up. For now, however, he's
Howard's way out. It's fine.
God damn it! He looks at the food, and he helps himself to the food, keeps eating, looking at Desi, like, and then he takes notice of Dixie, who's still just like head in hands, like down on the table, no food being eaten, and Wiggums goes with his mouth full. Is this one sick?
Huh? What? Which one?
You better shut up before I make you.
He points his fork at Dixie.
No. She is probably dealing with the problems that she caused and the repercussions of her actions.
Wiggums also, would you have said that threat to Wiggums audibly or just like under your breath, Dixie? Like, are you intending for only him to hear it?
I'm intending for only him to hear it.
All right, so he hears it and looks at you with like a bit of like a, because he's seen the shit you can do. But he's also very curious, and he looks at Desi and goes, "What kind of consequences?"
Don't worry about it. It is a Goblin Manor affair. Just eat your food and enjoy your morning. This is something that does not concern you.
Wiggums gives you like a bit of like a, well, I mean, if I'm to assist the Empress, surely I should be kept in the loop on certain matters of her domain.
The loop isn't for
but
you.
Here, let me ask you a question.
God damn it!
Is there like any maybe like, I don't know, goblin criminals that can be put to death or are scheduled to be put to death, or maybe you just have 3 goblins that are just, particularly nasty and should probably be weeded out?
I suddenly, like, all of my, like, dejected attitude, like, completely changes, and I look directly over at Desi, and I just, like, form a little, like, heart with my hands, like, really awkwardly.
Desi's gonna look at the display, and she's gonna kind of like roll her eyes and then nod her head in a okay kind of way. But then she's gonna, try to keep it on the down low because she doesn't want, people being like, why do you want us to kill people? Hee hee ha ha. She's trying to be a little discreet about it. So.
Wiggums ponders your question and thinks, you know, this raises a lot of questions of my own. But generally punishment is just when something pissed Chief off. It was either, something, either various levels of beatings or just outright killing. But nobody really has done anything to be a problem. I mean, more than goblins usually are. So I suppose we'd have to wait and see until someone does something. He's like looking around at everybody like now his head's going
Okay. Is there anybody that, is being particularly against, Snooty being the Empress? Is everybody on board?
Not that I mean, we were going to do a census before, well, last night. I suppose we could still do that. And he looks a little thoughtful and goes, we could ask while we're taking the census if they like Snooty, and the ones who say no, we could kill them?
Yeah, no, I don't think that. No. We're not silly Beckums. We're not looking to just, kill anybody that doesn't agree with us. That's his own problem. Yeah, we're not really into that. Okay, we're trying to make
that's how we've done it before.
Yeah, but that's not how we do it here. Before times is before times.
What do you do? With the ones who don't like? What? He looks flabbergasted at this. Like his whole world has been changed. Like you don't have to kill people when they're a problem. And he looks at you and goes, "Wait. Okay, hold on. What if a goblin decides that they don't like Snooty? What do we do?"
They are welcome to not like Snooty. The problem is they can't dislike Snooty and then try to kill Snooty. But, the rules are the rules.
But if they don't like Snooty, then isn't it only a matter of time before they talk to other goblins and say kill Snooty with them, and then we have a whole bunch of goblins trying to kill Snooty?
Yeah. I mean, technically yes, but here's the deal. If I was going to say, oh, hey, why don't you just try to kill everybody before they kill us? Do you understand the problem there?
We would have less goblins.
Yeah, because like at one point right now, without any sort of integration with human society, all of the goblins are probably just, little bloodthirsty idiots. So we're trying to make them not as bloodthirsty idiots.
He looks a little thoughtful and then goes, Empress, what is your opinion?
If people no like Snooty, that's okay. But they need to know that if they don't like me, they can't live in this town.
They should die.
That's not what I said at all.
That's a little. That's a little.
You went a little too hard there.
Wiggums
You
looks
would,
at Wiggums looks at Newt and says, "How do they do things in the Snappy Jaw tribe?"
Oh, here we go again.
What's that mean, wife?
Look, look. Nit, I love you and everything is great, but look, it's at the dinner table. Please do not pull out inside rope.
Oh no, why pull out inside rope?
I don't know. Every time we talk about what things happen in Snappy Jaw Tribe, usually inside rope come out. Like example.
No, normally if
Okay.
you disagree or they don't like you, they do what they did to Newt a whole lot, or they just take you out in the swamp and leave you, or bury you in a hole, or things like that. But Newt just kept coming back.
You know what? Never mind. I'm glad they got the inside rope. That's very sad, Wave. I'm sorry. I promise I won't leave you out in the waste.
Yeah, for some reason, when they threw Newt into Snappy Jaw Den or buried Newt alive or whatever, I just, kept not dying.
Well,
And
that-
they
I
always
mean-
just seemed so shocked when I arrived in village and was like, "Hi, that was a funny prank." And then I realized later it was not pranks.
I am very sorry.
It's okay, I got new tribe now.
Immediately,
that's true.
leaping hugs onto Desi.
I cry.
I'm just gonna hug Newt. Be like, that is the saddest thing I've heard. I'm glad that you have new trap and love you.
When Newt came back and was able to float, the other witch doctor leaders were like, we can't do that, and they did not like Newt.
Aww. Well, that is not a good enough reason. You know, I think your
But they were the
14's
elders,
really
they
neat.
don't need reason.
Yeah, that's true. That's why we should kill them and eat them before they, get too old and abuse their power.
Yeah. How old are you, Wiggums?
Wiggums looks at you confused, and he holds up his fingers to count. I think Wiggums is 30.
Oh, wait a minute. What are we supposed to do about Baba Yaga?
Yeah, that's sort of a problem. We won't talk about that right now. Don't worry.
To, Newt inquisitively.
Oh my god. Wiggums. Wiggums would have definitely heard of Baba Yaga. And he looks...
Oh yeah, Newt said it very loud.
Yeah. He raises his head and he just stops eating and looks at everybody and goes, "Why is Baba Yaga a concern?"
Because
It starts to talk.
I'm gonna stick my hand in Duke's mouth. Yep, that covered all of it. That's it. I'm gonna take my hand out of her mouth.
Yeah, that about covers it.
Okay, good. Nit, we're trying to keep this a secret.
Oh, sorry, I did not know it was a secret. I'll be quiet now.
No. I love you, Wave. Anyway, about those, if you have any goblins that need, maybe broke rules or ate the baby or something. Ha
Wiggums,
ha.
Wiggums raises an eyebrow and says, "Why would we punish a goblin for eating a baby?"
Very reasonable methods. You see, eating babies here is illegal.
Oh. Oh. Wait.
And we'll probably have you put to death in town.
Wiggums looks
Has
a little
anyone
like...
ate a baby recently?
Hold on.
Leans over and winks at wife. Like she's being really clever.
As he's just gonna nod slowly in the "I'm proud of you, wife" kind of way, while looking mildly horrifying.
If anyone wants to roll a perception roll against Wiggum's deception roll, you're more than welcome to.
Yeah, I did that. Just 'cause.
Oh my god. Anyone else? Anyone else wish to perceive through Wiggum's lies?
Oh.
Snooty, do you want to roll one?
Oh no, the Snooty is just eating the food off of Dixie's plate at this moment.
All right, literally everyone beats Wiggum's deception roll, so it comes out like this: Wiggums has never eaten babies.
Uh-huh. Not even once?
No.
Do you think I should start?
Not even a taste?
I'm sure there are other goblins Wiggums could find right now who have also who have eaten babies for selection. If that's a problem, I could go.
Yeah,
do
but
that.
how do you resist their tender taste?
He narrows his eyes at you and says,
How
That's-
come you've never ate a baby? How do you know you don't like it?
We all
true.
eat babies here. You can be honest with us.
Oh, that's fucked up. That.
I'm undercover.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
roll me a deception roll, Dixie.
Deception.
You want to goblin bullshit go that, or are you gonna sit on it?
I'll let the dice go how they go.
All
It's
right.
alright. I debated it for a moment, but it'll be fine.
Okay. All right. He looks at you briefly, Dixie, and then he kind of like he does a little bit of mental gymnastics and says, "Well, I imagine what drives goblins to eat babies is they are pretty soft and easily prepared."
I mean, you know the goblin
Attack
saying
him. I
it's
got
like
you
taking
now!
it's like taking babies from a baby.
you tackle him?
Yeah,
All right. He just
like
you're on-
pin him to the ground. I put his arms behind his back. Someone get me some rope!
Ah, no!
I can get rope.
No, please, not at the dinner table.
Oh, okay. Okay. You're right.
You're under arrest. Or I guess that's Newt's job. Newt, can you put this man under arrest for eating babies? It is against the law.
Looks to Desi.
I mean, technically, it is against the law, but I don't think he ate babies recently, did he?
No.
I
Walks
don't think
over.
that's how the law works.
Binds
yeah,
his
he
hand.
didn't. No, because it was legal in Goblin tribe, and now it is illegal in a new place. Sometimes rules change based on your location.
Yes, that
Didn't
is
eat
true.
the baby in town, did you?
No, no babies recently. Wiggum's did that with Old Tribe. Didn't have time for babies with Suck Frog.
So we don't have any legal jurisdiction?
I mean, not at the moment. Like, there's no.
I don't know what that word means, but that does. Yeah, no, we don't have that.
Just go ahead and sit back down at the table then.
I will help Wiggums up and be like, sorry, sir. They sometimes get a little overzealous.
Yeah, sometimes they are loose cannon.
Shut up.
They're under a lot of pressure from this whole thing.
Yeah, thank you. That's real smooth, wife. Real smooth.
Yes, well, regardless, there are others in the tribe who have had more recent baby eating experiences. I could get a few if that's what we need.
How recent?
Couple of months.
Oh no, that's fine. They can't just eat any baby in town. We gave them the rundown of the rules. If they can't follow the rules, then that's different. But right now they don't seem to be doing anything.
So what you're saying is we have to wait till a goblin eats a baby in town and then take them and do whatever you're going to do with them?
Basically, because eating babies in town is against the law. It's what keeps the humans from going and beating your head in. Everybody made an agreement that they don't want to do these things that aren't really cool.
Yes, so...
Yeah.
No goblin eats baby or all goblins suffer?
Exactly. If you want to eat here and you want your food and you like the stuff that's going on, you need to not eat the babies.
Wiggums looks around. Oh, go ahead.
It makes big problems.
There's two things that Wiggums does. One is he looks around the room, taking into account, like, this is a pretty nice building, and, like, he's not exactly opposed to living in something that isn't just some shitty goblin shit shack. And as he's looking around, his eyes fall on the window, and he sees the remains of the undead goblin through the window, and pauses for a minute, and goes, "What happened?" Pointing at the window.
Oh, zombie. Ooh. It eats more.
Oh, there's more left?
From what we can tell, that was...
At least one more.
Yeah.
Oh, no. If there's still some remaining in the woods around the buildings, then that could be a problem. If we don't get rid of all the remaining ones, then they might go into town, or somebody might come and be like, I'm a human doing human things, blah, 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 and then get eaten. That wouldn't go good. We need to make sure that those aren't around, otherwise we might get blamed, even though they're dead.
When you put it like that, that's a good point.
Wiggums leans forward and kind of steeples his fingers and goes, okay, as best Wiggums understands, we need to make sure that goblins all obey Snooty. That's important. And don't do things that make the town angry, or we'll die. Yes?
Yes. You don't want one goblin to go get a snack and then you wake up dead, do you? That's very inconvenient to the rest of your day.
How do we stop goblins from going into town and causing problems?
Well, we tell them the benefits of town, and then we also tell them, the things that happen if they leave town and break rules. Breaking rules means death. But
Sorry.
If they follow rules, it means that, well, we get to hang out and eat good food and be in cool places and enjoy life. Following the rules is how we all get along and not get killed.
I see. That's
Uh-huh.
interesting.
Uh-huh.
Well,
You
then
know, maybe it would be a good idea if Emperor Snooty gave everybody a little bit of a pep talk on what the rules of the town were.
I do. I can do that. I know the rules. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and so do I.
And yeah,
Yeah, don't worry, Wiggums. We're not going to give you up or let you down.
we're not gonna have you run around, and we're not going
Yeah.
to desert you.
well, that's good
No.
because a full commitment was what I was thinking of.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah. Your full commitment to town is pretty
You want to
good.
get this from any other couple?
Yeah.
That's true.
I just want to tell everyone how I'm feeling, and I just want you
Aw.
to understand.
Oh, that's just so touching. But you don't. I'm never gonna give you up. I'm never gonna let you down.
Then we're gonna run around and desert you.
Oh wait,
Never gonna
actually,
make you
dessert's my
cry.
favorite.
Oh, dessert is yummy.
I will never tell a lie.
Ah.
Or hurt you.
Hurt you.
Can someone clip that, please? Oh, fuck.
Are you
Is that too
okay?
experience?
Oh my god. Wiggums just kind of nods and says,
Good. Yes, we make sure that Snooty says to goblins what not to do in town, and hopefully they listen. And we'll tell them what will happen if they don't, so that they feel more inclined to listen. But what if a goblin is too stupid? Like, what if they think I don't need to listen? Or what if they talk to other goblins and say, hey, this is stupid and that is stupid, because they don't like it when people make rules that are to make sure they don't die or have a bad time. What do we do about those stupid goblins?
Well, then they can
We
leave
t-
and they don't get sandwiches or anything else. And if they
We
decide,
tell them they
I'm,
get arrested or killed by Shillelagh because she
uh-huh.
came back.
Shalelu.
Oh god, no, the elf who kills goblins is still here?
Yeah, we're here the whole time. Yeah.
he looks around like panically, and as he stops to look at the window as if something is going to show up. Does anyone else join him in doing so?
I'm going to look at the window.
Why are
the
you
wall.
looking at the window? Why is there sweat dripping down?
I don't understand.
There's a long pause, and the Wiggums goes, "Oh, sorry, I just thought something was gonna." And then you hear a tunk 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 at the front door.
Get it!
Yeah, come in. We're eating. This is. I got up this time. It's somebody else's.
Oh, crack, open the door.
I want to help open doors. Naked.
Dixie, your girlfriend's here!
Oh!
The two naked goblins answer the door. And Shillelagh just raises an eyebrow, and Baylor, he's just not phased. He shrugs at her. Like yeah. they have another wordless exchange of understanding. And,
no, they do this. Sorry, continue.
yeah. Meanwhile, Dixie, you go rushing to the door.
Hey there, good looking.
Shaleela's mood visibly, like, dampens. Like, you can tell that despite her face not changing, it became a little more sallow and sunken, like a god fucking damn it internal response just barely kept from reflecting
I
on her
watched the
face.
light fleetingly rush from her eyes.
She doesn't say anything, but Baylor says, he looks down at you, Snooty, and he says, "Is everyone in your leadership council present right now?"
Leadership. Oh, yeah. Hold on. Hey, Sheriff Penis Head and Shillelagh are outside. Wiggums, Oleg, Desi, you come with me.
Wiggums looks surprised. As Snooty does that,
Then-
Wiggums turns to Desi with like a look on his face like, "Are you fucking kidding me?"
Come on.
Wiggums!
Coming, Empress.
He
You know
said
that actually has.
God fucking damn it.
Yeah, you like that? You like that bit, Shillelagh? You like that one? That would get you giggling?
God.
The sheriff. Oh my god. I can't with Dixie's reactions to Shillelagh. It just kills me. The sheriff just stands there and sees all of you and he just goes, "Do you mind if we sit somewhere and speak?"
I don't mind.
Yeah, we could go to the room that isn't. Wait.
Dixie, is the room, and she points upward. That room okay for us to sit in?
No.
Wait,
To the
what?
dining room.
What? We could just go in, but we have.
That's the room I pointed at. That's the room I'm pointing at. Dixie
okay.
said no, so I was like, "Fuck it, back to the dining room."
But okay, well, okay.
I guess.
Well,
But then because this is like leadership room, she goes, sits her ass right here instead.
Ah, yes, the completely naked
Nit-
goblin empress.
Nit,
ready
come
for
sit.
statecraft.
Come sit in the trifecta seat. We
Oh,
formed the triangle.
okay.
We invited them in. They can't just sit there.
Yeah. The sheriff is going to sit opposite here. Shillelagh has a hard choice and decides to stand against the wall. Just, leaning, being her edgy self.
Dixie sees the light leave Shillelagh's eyes. Also, Dixie, damn, that was hot.
So as
Damn, that's fucked up, man.
As they enter your dining space, the sheriff pulls up a seat and he sits down and he says, "Considering last night's events, I am concerned for far more security issues than I was once." He stops for a minute and he looks at the window where the dead goblin is. And he
We'll just
raises
blow
an
him up.
eyebrow. And then he goes, "There would appear to be a plague of sorts afflicting your people. We don't know enough about its origins or its influences. For the time being, I believe it would be wise for us to quarantine your goblin tribe within their domicile until more answers can be found."
Yeah, that is probably wise.
Wiggums looks a little, confused at that statement and then thinks about it for a second. He goes,
Are you suggesting goblins don't leave at all, as in stay in one place and not go anywhere. Who?
He like Wiggums looks like he's on the verge of tears. And he's like,
how is Wiggum supposed to do that?
You won't be doing it by yourself. We will help you.
He looks up at you and says,
we would need so many nets.
So many nets? Why we need nets?
Have you ever tried to tell goblins not to leave a village?
Well, that's why we don't tell them that they can't leave. We give them stuff to do.
Like, oh, fuck my internet.
Because the moment you tell a gobbo what they can't do, they want to do it more. For instance,
we tell them they can't stay in the building all day.
Steve!
Nah.
Don't eat that flower.
it's like there's a moment where time slows and everybody's attention turns to Steve as he stares at the flower on the table. And as if it hadn't drawn his attention at all up until you mentioned it. And earlier he had mentioned not eating it as well. And
Steve, you trained for this, remember? I'm just gonna whisper that to him.
he reaches his hand out shakily, like fighting it, and then slowly pulls it back, and looks like he just had like a legitimate like internal struggle, and just goes, "No, thank you."
Good job, Steve. Good job.
Oh my God!
If you noticed how much
amazing.
Steve really wanted to eat that flower, like really badly wanted to eat that flower, and he didn't.
He's been under rigorous training.
Is this literally what we're actually getting excited about right now?
He did a good job.
Yeah, he did a good job.
Yeah, okay.
It's kind of like when you do something and you're not a bitch, we get the same excitedness.
Yeah, we celebrate the victories. We don't try to shame the amount of victories you have. Damn.
The sheriff just... Both the sheriff and Shalelu have the most, like, unimpressed looks on their faces right now. And Oleg just kind of chimes in to try to be helpful. It's okay. As long as you don't do anything to antagonize them, I'm pretty sure they'll be able to keep themselves occupied. There's actually 2 people from town in the manor right now, keeping at least 10 of them occupied.
Actually, if you have very attractive females by Gobbo standards, and they want Gobbo husbands, I mean, that would keep everybody occupied over there, and then we don't really have to worry about nothing.
Oh, damn. But you tell... Oh, God. I shouldn't have said the word fuck quota.
Maybe you should have Shalelu keep an eye on Dixie, because they might try to cause trouble.
Wiggums nods as you say that, and he turns to look at the sheriff and goes,
yes, Goblin Sex House would be distracting for at least a few days.
The sheriff... You know in anime when a character has that shadow over their eyes? As they're just sitting there not saying anything? That's the sheriff right now.
That's rough, buddy.
Oh my goodness. Oh, does anyone else want to say something to drive the further silliness home, or shall I continue?
Man, that's That's a good question. No, I'm good. I'm gonna let you do it.
They looked at each other. The sheriff turns to look at Shalala very briefly, and she just kind of like does a gesture that it feels like it's over something that they perhaps had shared before. And he just kind of shakes his head, and she shrugs. And he turns to look at you again and says, regardless of how you choose to do it, I will be posting guards at the crossing into town and have them patrol around the surrounding area to ensure that no goblins leave the quarantine until we are able to fully discern what is happening and why these events have come to pass.
Okay.
He sighs and says, now that we have goblin residents, we need to begin the process of discussion amongst the town council and the town itself about general opinion about keeping these goblins here. I can't say that last night's events was the greatest start, but as far as I've been able to do, I've kept the conversation about what has happened at the other estate from reaching public hysteria. So far, it seems the town is unaware of anything other than a public performance and a parade through the middle of town by goblins. So far, public opinion is high. I would like to attempt to keep it as such. So, please do your best not to mention the events that have occurred at the manor to anyone from the town until we are able to smooth things over.
Yeah, Newt.
Yeah, Newt, yeah. I don't really want to call you out, but sometimes you're bad at keeping secrets. You know.
Hey, don't tell people about Manor Gutted.
Yeah. Don't mention it. Just secret.
Mention what?
Exactly.
Newt's gonna grin really proudly.
You're so smart.
Look at how happy they are. Disgusts me.
Wow.
Don't you agree, Shalala? Don't you agree?
Wow.
In her usual fashion, she says nothing. And Wiggums also leans over and just looks at, like, her and looks at you, Dixie. And is just so confused that, like, you're talking to her in the first place. He doesn't say anything, but he's just visibly like, what the fuck?
This is what I have to deal with all the time. Pity me, Wiggums.
Wiggums just goes, well, if there's nothing else, we could get to our goblin business. Like, very borderline threateningly to the sheriff, and the sheriff just raises an eyebrow at him and goes, no, that's everything that we have to address presently. I wish you luck in this endeavor, and please, for the sake of Sandpoint and my sanity, I will be happy to give you anything that you require in this process. Just keep me informed.
Okay, yeah, that sounds pretty good. All things considered, you know.
The sheriff nods and excuses himself. And Shalala follows. But as she's leaving, she makes eye contact with you, Desi.
I'm going to make eye contact with her back. Because, you know.
Newt's gonna look back and forth between the two, and then gonna make eye contact back at Shalilu.
She's not even gonna move her eyes won't even dart to you taking note of her. She's just gonna look at you, Desi, and then just nod her head.
Nod back slowly, and then give a small wave.
She excuses herself to follow the sheriff out. And Wiggums just kind of lets out like an audible sigh of like relief once they depart. And he just kind of goes, "That elf is terrifying."
No, she's actually really nice when you get to know her.
Get to know her. She looked at me like she wanted to rip my head off and then use it to kill someone else in this room.
Yeah, that's how she shows affections.
He like look as you say that, he looks at Dixie, says nothing, and then just nods at you.
Oh yeah, they got a thing going on. I'm pretty sure they're fucking on the down low.
Dixie just wants to type a woman that'll straight up murder her.
Yeah, that's true. Like, damn.
All right. So we're basically close to the midpoint of our session here. So before we go on our break, now as the day is starting, it seems like the most important things ahead of you guys right now are getting over there and potentially finding a few decent targets from the goblins who might be problematic for Dixie's efforts, shall we say. And also, Wiggums wants to push forward the agenda of working with Snooty to basically get all the goblins together and give like a public like address of what's to expect. So, is there anything else anyone else wants to prioritize or do on top of that before we take our break?
I can think of something that Dixie wants to do on top of.
Yeah.
It's an elf.
Yeah, I know the answer to this question too.
I just smile.
Damn.
Like a fucking middle schooler getting their like photo taken at like for the yearbook. That's the smile I'm giving. Like it's really awkward. You guys know what I'm talking about. You guys know the smile.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that one.
I don't really know what you're talking about.
What do you mean? Ash figured it out.
What? I don't know.
Alright, but are there any actual other priorities, or will you just address them as they come up while we're doing Operation Explain to the Goblins how things might go very poorly for them?
Look, I'm just going to help my wife. She needs to be the person, so I guess what I'll do is I will just go through the town rules with Snooty. And then I will be like, remember, fallback plan is always we could just surround the house and horses.
Oh, wait, right.
Yeah. No, those are fake horses. Yeah, you just, yeah.
Oh, yes, fake horse fence. Perfect.
You know, gobos are actually... I have noticed that a lot of the goblins from Suckfrog used to be scared of paintings of horses and dogs.
Wait, what?
So maybe if we have somebody paint those on the fence, they get scared and not leave.
I see. What you're trying to say is, and if I understand what you're putting down, is we get some spooky camouflage.
Yeah.
Okay. You know, that could work.
Alright, more food for thought over the break. Meanwhile, Dixie, is there anything you'll be prioritizing during all of this?
I mean, I'm just flirting with Shalelu, I thought.
She left.
My life is over. There's nothing to do.
Fair. Newt, any
Dixie's
priorities?
life is empty now.
When Shalelu comes back, oh my god.
Newt, any other priorities for yourself?
Mm-mm.
All right, fair enough. Well then, we're going to go ahead and take our mid-session break. Use the washroom, get some water. We recommend those of you who are listening do the same. And when we come back, we will see how these things evolve and unfold to better solidify our goblins' communal spirit, shall we say, and hope that it works out for the best. Meantime, however... Wait, nope, that's not the right one.
Wait.
Yes, Desi?
Goodbye for now.
Oh, God. Yes. Thank you. All right, everyone. Goblins, say goodbye for now. We'll go on our break.
TTFN.
Goodbye for now, goblins.
We will return with a goblin vengeance.
All right, see you all in 15. Hello, everybody. Welcome back. It is a pleasure to have you all here. Just a reminder, we have the links. Do you guys like links? Do you like following links? Because if you do, you should click on those links.
Yeah.
Not.
Yeah.
That's good links.
That's pretty good links.
Holy fuck.
That's some impressive links.
I like sausage links. The German in me is very happy with those.
Oh, that's some pretty good links too.
Yeah.
Damn, there's some good links in this group here.
Yo, I'm just gonna smash a pot over my head. Does that work?
I think it works more if you smash it over someone else's head.
Oh. Shit, you right.
But links, follow maybe? A little bit? If you guys want to spare them, drop them follows. Otherwise, the bullshit pool on the right there, if you guys make any contributions financially that equate to $10 over subscriptions, bits, and donations, and a reminder, subscriptions only count for $2.50 because Amazon takes half of subscriptions, then we increase the Goblin bullshit pool. And that money goes towards supporting our project and helping us up the production values, essentially. So if you guys like what you see and want to help continue upping the ante, then your contributions are very welcome. Otherwise, thanks everybody for being here. And I believe now we can address the issue at hand, which is...
What's the deal with plain food?
Oh.
It's airline food?
What? Did you really just...
I'm sorry. Look, I just wanted to feel like I had something important to say. You guys had this, bomb-ass link thing, and I just smashed a pot. I really didn't feel like it was fair.
Okay.
Jesus Christ, Wicker.
I decided.
Wicker's like, listen, I know what I'm about.
That transparency is good. And
transparency,
Effie, I just want you to know that just because noodles are on you and you're flying, it doesn't make it airline food.
Look. Noodles are the enemy, okay?
Then don't bring them on the airplane, and then you'll have a problem with airline
I didn't bring them on the airplane.
Yeah, they were in your pockets.
Shut up.
Effie. Empty your pockets. Let's see what's there.
Pocket.
Effie, there's so much pasta in here.
No.
Oh my god.
It's not my fault.
There's so much. Effie. You can't bring pasta like this on a plane.
What? But they made me stopped at oodles of noodles. And I needed the noodles for the poodles.
Effie.
I owe so
There's
much
so
noodles to the
much.
poodle ring. You don't understand.
Wait, is this? There's spaghetti. There's the elbow pasta. How many different types of pasta are you trying to smuggle
All of
into
them.
Canada? Because I know that's where you're going.
How do you know my friend?
I'm wheezing. I can't continue the bit. Help.
I love spitting pasta, actually.
All right. So, with that all said and done, I think that going forwards, we can say safely that it is time to engage the goblining. Yes?
Yes. Yep. Mm-hmm.
What? Oh, God.
Nothing.
Every time.
Nothing.
All right, so let us go ahead and hide this. Oh, Luna, thank you very much for the raid. We appreciate that. Could we get a shout out for Luna in the chat there, please? Well, we're just about to get back into the mix, but Luna, let us know what you're getting up to. If you were playing any games or doing any art shenanigans. Pleasure to have you in your community. Thanks for joining us, guys. We're just getting back from break, and we're about to get back into the session. It's going to be a bit of a short one today, but we appreciate having you guys here and hope you all enjoy what is to come.
No, Luna. Sorry.
No worries. Do you want to give her a shout out in the chat there, Effie?
Yes, I do. 1 second.
Hell yeah. Also, do you want to give Harmless your follow before we get back into the mix?
Absolutely. I would love to. Harmless7787, thank you so much for the follow. Climb the box, for good, comfy, good, cozy. We got hot chocolate, marshmallow blankets, and now we got you. How the hell are ya? Oh, you gobble party? Hell yeah. Hi, everybody. All right. I promise I won't interrupt you anymore, Silver. I promise.
No,
I got
all
this.
good.
I make 0 promises.
Oh, shit. No,
welcome,
fuck.
Welcome. Happy to have you all here. I hope you all enjoy your evening and that you are, vibing, that everyone is existing well, because tonight is a night of goblins, and often it can come with unexpected consequences. So, please join us as we resume once more to see how this is going to unfold. So, let me go ahead and get a little bit of ambience going for the day. All right. So, after having breakfast and preparing yourselves for the task at hand, and thank you for the sub to Goblin Tits. It's very, very appreciated.
Hell yeah.
The 4 of you are now essentially tasked with the effort, I suppose, of ensuring that a collective of goblins remains stationary?
In the same spot.
Yeah. Efforts to
Confined.
ensure that the goblins who have
Contained.
now occupied the former Kaijitsu Manor are going to basically play along and stay where they're expected to be. So, as a result of that, Wiggums has called forth all the assembled goblins in the town to receive their first official addressment by Empress Snooty. So, I suppose my question to you, Snooty, is where would you have liked to have had everybody gather on the grounds?
Let me look at the map real quick so I can see. Most likely right. I would need to use Oleg as a pedestal, so everybody should be in the area in between the 2 lion statues. That's where we would have gathered them.
Okay, so like right in the front courtyard, essentially.
Uh-huh.
All right.
I would be standing here on top of Oleg, while everybody else is right here in between them. I need a pedestal that's tall enough, all right?
I mean, there's some like watch platforms.
Yeah,
here,
but it's not centered.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
everyone
yeah.
would be off center.
Oh my goodness. You know what? I capitulate. You make a very good point on that front.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So now that we have put that in place, I guess Wiggums will kind of like take up next to you. Before we get into the addressment of Empress Snooty to her subjects, though, does anyone do anything about the like dead goblin in front of the dining room window at all in all of this?
What dead goblin?
Yeah, what one? Let's see. What dead goblin?
Oh my goodness. Yeah, no, that's entirely reasonable. That's what I came to expect from a group of goblins. All right. So just reiterating, nobody does anything to move or change its position. Just kind of leave it there, yeah?
I don't even see a dead goblin.
All right, perfect.
Are you still talking about this?
Yeah. I refuse to acknowledge your fake dead goblin.
And you know what? That's fair. That's fair. I'm sorry for gaslighting you.
Yeah, thank you. It was really confusing.
All right. In the interim, during this speech, you guys, Desi and Dixie and Newt, set yourselves up around the area wherever you'd like to be during it, essentially, for me, just so I get a rough idea of where your placements are.
I go with, you know, I could say, enter pincer formation, the advanced vanguard of wives.
I'm gonna sit on the big statue.
All right. So let's see how without adjusting them, how moving all these goblins into the courtyard goes.
I'm sorry, I'm gonna cry. I just received a really cute gift from Nelu. And
Aww.
I know he's probably in chat, so thank you, Nelu.
What did he send?
He got me a game called A Little to the Left. It's a cute little puzzle game.
Hell yeah.
That is also the title of your sex tape.
Sorry. We don't have all the goblins in the place here, but I think this does a decent amount of work representing. There we go. Let's make sure Oleg is underneath Snooty, not the other way around. Perfect. There we are. There we go. Boo, 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 boo. All right. So, with that all set up and stabilized there, what we have here is a collection of goblins awaiting your addressment, Snooty. So, efforts have been made to essentially, as best as possible, corral all the goblins into one place for an announcement. I don't know if you want to encourage something other than the way Wiggums normally does it, but Wiggums basically just runs around with a stick hitting them until they all get into the courtyard.
That's pretty accurate for goblin stuff, so no, she wouldn't change that. She would go, "Goblins! Goblins! Can you hear me?"
Chat, can I get an exclamation mark D20?
I can hear you!
Oh my god.
Yeah, I can hear you too.
Can I get an exclamation mark D20? Okay. It looks like the goblins are feeling pretty already cooperative. There doesn't need to be a lot of coercion or attention drawing after the rousing rounds of stick treatment that Wiggums has so practiced into getting them together.
There is a new way for us to get attention that I saw at a shul once. It's called clap for attention. I do 2 claps, you do 2 claps. I don't know how many is 2. Is this 2?
Yeah, no, that's 4. That's actually it's 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5. See, the one starts at your pinky and it goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, so you just want to do 2. 1, 2.
She's gonna try clapping with like her thumb and pointer finger.
You got this.
Okay. Hold on, I got this.
You got this.
Okay, I do this many, you do that many, okay? This is how we know you all have your listening gobbo ears on. Do it back.
Oh, sorry.
Can I get another roll for the goblins to see if they can process this idea? Wow, okay, alright. Apparently 2 claps is a very effective system. In fact, you overhear a couple of goblins saying, "This is much better than stick."
I praise.
Thank you for attending this announcement. I, Empress Snooty, have something to say to you all. And it is guidelines for the town of Sandpoint.
She holds out her arms wide to kind of show that she is important. You need to keep paying attention to her. And she looks at everyone in hopes that they are listening. Once more, because goblins have very short attention spans.
They seem to be attentive.
Okay. We have a few goblin rules that need to be changed while living here in Sandpoint. As we all know, goblins follow not many other rules. One of them being no reading, no writing. It's spooky business. The books and the writing thingies, they steal the words from your head. But here in Sandpoint, that magic doesn't do that here.
They all kind of look at each other. I know there was already an initial effort to make them, like, enlightened on this subject the other night, so with advantage, give me a diplomacy roll, please.
Okay. Diplomacy. Advantage. 18.
Not bad, not bad. That's another 10.
Uh-huh.
That's Snooty's favorite number.
Uh-huh.
This curse.
It's the only number that I like to roll.
Yeah, 100%.
In both VR and in tabletop, so it's fine.
It just follows you fucking everywhere.
It does.
Do you want to goblin bullshit go it, or are you pretty confident
No.
it'll just be more tense?
I'm just gonna.
Wait. I want to goblin bullshit go it.
You'll suffer the consequences.
Yeah, I want to see if I get higher than 10.
What? Wait.
So I roll it, and if it's because it's your goblin bullshit, we'll see if it's more.
All right.
Yeah,
all
that's
right.
how it's going.
That sounds like some appropriate goblin science. I'll allow it.
Okay.
All right. Oh, that's a 19. You still don't need to sleep. You're double immune to it.
Oh my goodness.
Doubly immune to sleep.
Excellent.
Alright, so what does that mean? What does this mean? Great bird in the sky. Do they understand what I'm saying?
I mean, some of them are going to be holdouts for a while, and it's going to take a bit of work to get them fully on board with that. But a lot of them were never all that attached to it in the first place, and are pretty quick to be like, sure, fine, makes sense. They're not. They're kind of like. I feel like the general demeanor is they won't give anybody shit on that front if nobody's stoking them up to do so, and they seem agreeable about it. Now, keep in mind they are just a pretty dumb group of goblins in general, but I imagine that the point has been made to the point that they're like, yeah, okay, we won't make this a problem without somebody starting shit. So as far as you could make a good impact on the goblins about something that's so culturally ingrained and passed around through generations, I think that you've done a pretty damn good job.
Awesome. Snooty does like a little nod and seeing some people agree and be like, yeah, whatever. And she looks about and she goes,
Next is about babies. Now, I know human and non-gobbo babies are very delicious. But here, we can get in a lot of trouble eating people babies. But there are other things that we can eat that are... There's a thing called veal that we can eat.
My god. Okay, alright, this is the direction we're going. Got it.
listen, this is one way to get them to stop eating people babies and eat babies of other things instead, okay?
Yeah, alright, I guess we can't just we can't just like cold turkey the baby meat. It's gotta be a weaning process, you know, there's gotta be
We can
compromise.
also eat a thing called eggs, which come from chickens.
The baby of babies.
And they are very good. Wife Desi does very good job with making egg from chickens.
Yeah.
Mm-mm-mm.
That is what I do.
We have to not eat the people babies, but we can eat babies of other things. Okay?
Give me another. I mean, your compromise is reasonable.
Listen, Snooty knows what she would have to do in these type of situations, so she's just saying like, oh, here's the loophole.
Yeah, no, that you're right. If you just came out and were like, no more baby eating, they'd probably just be like, but it's so good though, you know. So
Yeah.
After some consideration, unless any of the other goblins have a point to make, I'll give you a straight diplomacy roll. But if anyone else wants to make a point that might help, then I might consider changing it. But it could either be a disadvantage or advantage, depending on how you make your point. But if any of the other goblins want to weigh in, you know, feel free.
Doesn't really seem like my place.
That's fair. If you don't want to challenge the Empress's authority either, that's something that could accidentally occur, I suppose, but endorsing what she's trying to say would also be helpful if done correctly, so... Newt, anything on your end, or are you just gonna keep your snappy jaw shut?
Newt's busy slow blinking.
Still trying to process. Okay, Desney, anything to lend aid on this point, or are you just gonna hope that Snooty's reasonable argument holds through?
It's like what I'd like to do while she's describing things is I'd like to use prestidigitation to basically give visual cues because these goblins are dumb as fuck. I want it to be the air of like Dolly Parton basically showing to like preschoolers like books. Like, you know.
Yeah, you know, no, that's legit. That's legit.
Yeah.
Give me a performance roll to see how well you make your prestidigitation do that.
Wouldn't be a spellcraft roll. What the heck?
I have no doubt you know how to make these things coalesce. It's just whether you have the right idea of how to make it come across. Oh, it's still pretty good. That's a pretty good result. I will say that yeah.
Sorry, I was just gonna say, there's a feat here that I fucking love, and it's untrained improv. And it's amazing. Whew. Thank you. Anyway, sorry. Go ahead.
No worries. I see it there in the bonuses, where it's listed the application of them. So, Snooty, you can make the diplomacy roll with advantage because Desi has provided visual aids.
Wonderful.
Hey, look at that. Another 27. Another 19.
No.
You two make a very good convincing pair for convincing these goblins to change their ways.
Good.
So yeah, Snooty, with the aid of visual summonings and your you know, I'm not gonna say it's unreasonable. It's a good compromise. It definitely hits some points of, like, the middle ground that works enough. So, the goblins are, like, they're not so much, like, not about eating babies anymore, so much as they're like, there's babies we can eat and it not be a problem? Cool. So they're excited for the babies they can eat easier. So, easier babies. That's the platform you've been you've been building for your reign. Good. All right. So far you've managed to impart that there's not an issue with the reading and the writing, that they should make their own problem. You know, that's their own decisions to make, but they shouldn't give people shit about it. They shouldn't eat sentient creature babies so much as there's ones that are easier to eat, and you've convinced them as a better alternative that they're excited to try more. Now what's the next thing you're going to put in front of them?
Next up is for a week we will
Hold on. I had it and then I just completely lost it, so just give me one moment. This is completely out of character. I'm like, my brain had it and then I just died.
For a week we will make this place feel more and more like a goblin paradise. This home for us. This place. So we can feel wanted and needed.
And she, like, gestures out to the building behind them.
You just have the surface of a goblin home. But just think about your own personal touches on everything on this place. Think of the possibilities and the fact that the rain no goes through the building. Big thoughts with our big Bryans.
So,
I am convincing them to work on the house and not leave for a week so we can quarantine.
I mean, the house is already in a pretty good state, but you're trying to convince them it needs more?
Yes, I'm convincing them that they need to put more personal touches on it for a week.
See, now here's the thing. How is Snooty approaching that? Because right now I feel like it's a deception roll, but you could make an argument for why it would qualify as diplomacy instead. I guess the majority of it is being said in Goblin, so,
Yeah.
Nobody's translating for Dixie.
I'll be fine. I can just watch, I guess.
Yeah, to you it just looks like Oleg is sitting on the shoulders of... Or, fuck.
Oleg is sitting on my shoulders? Damn.
Holy shit, she is shrunk!
That's a shrunk goblin. No, yeah, Snooty's sitting on Oleg's shoulders, basically speaking gobbledygook, and occasionally the goblins look at each other and nod. So, that's... So yeah, let me look at your page as well real quick. You have... Yeah, so... Give me a reason why it might qualify as diplomacy over deception, because you're kind of... You're telling them that the place needs some work, but it doesn't. But how do you frame it in a way that would qualify as a diplomacy role is what I'm asking.
She points to Wiggums, and she goes,
For instance, you all get your own special rooms here in the House of Gobos. Like how you would have your tents and your places within the town, you now have a special room that you can decorate. And I'm sure that in just one day you have not done so. There are so many goblins who live here, and there's so many homes and things that you can go through. Wiggums has his own, which we have given to him, and you yourselves will now have the freedom to choose a room that isn't Wiggums throughout the house. You decorate, you make pretty, and in a week we do contest. Whoever has best room in house gets to try the new baby meal that I have just suggested.
Ah, yes. This is like one of those, the Home Garden channel, one of those, like, building challenge shows, but with the people who have no idea how to fucking do a goddamn thing with, like, home renovations. I love it.
Which is why they have a week to do it, instead of us just piling through to try to figure out why the fuck they're turning undead so fast.
Well, you've given them a good incentive, and you've given them something to do. Does anyone else want to make any arguments for why this sounds great, or perhaps hype it up before I tell Snooty to make a roll?
No, I think wife has this.
Yeah.
Alright. Well, in that case,
It's
go ahead.
50 seconds done.
Give me a diplomacy roll with advantage. You've given them what they're looking for, more or less.
I will just read what War Bandit said out loud, please and thank you, while I do this roll of diplomacy.
Oh my god!
Go on, don't keep it to yourself before I roll.
All this stuff happening, and Dixie's just looking up at the skies thinking, I wonder if she's choking a goblin right now. God, I wish that was me.
Those would be the days.
Did you say that I had advantage or no?
Yes,
just a straight
you
diplomacy.
do. You've been on a good roll here, and you've given them something completely workable that I think it fits the... Oh, okay, alright. It's still a good result. Alright. Yeah, they seem excited about the prospect. They're like, oh my goodness. Like, but as that's happening, they're like excitedly talking about that stuff with each other. I guess Wiggums wouldn't interrupt you right now to say anything about it, but I'll save it for later. Is there anything else you want to say to them, like what they need to do or how they need to act?
Snooty is blanking on it and points to Desi to climb up to Oleg to finish up any extra rules because she can't think of any.
Oh, got that. Pardon, 1 second. Yeah, 1 second. Okay. Hello, everybody. I am Chief Wife, and would like to remind you all of some very basic things. Do not set fires to the human town. Do not steal things from them. They do a barter system here with coins. If you do nice things, you get coins. You can exchange coins for goods and services. Basically, do not do anything to somebody that you would not want done to you. Except you over there. Yeah, you, Trixie. You a freak. You got to ask permission first. That's consent. Uh-huh. Yeah. Anyway, that should cover everything.
The
Yeah,
goblins.
yeah.
The goblins. Actually, does it give me a diplomacy roll to see how well you kind of like hype up Snooty's authority. Not bad, not bad. It resonates with some of them. They're like, oh yeah, you know, like I could, I can relate to Goblin every wife. You know, like just one of us ever normal goblins. So on that initiative, Snooty, any final things you wish to say or address your people with?
Nope. So what she's going to do is, if you understand and you know it, clap your hands.
The goblins all clap their hands. And some of them are very amused at the way that this has gone down. They're like, oh my god, like this is a much better way of talking to the chief than being hit with a stick every time we speak out of line. Although Wiggums has been standing next to you, just like brandishing the stick, like squinting. Alright.
Amazing.
So the goblins disperse and begin their process of this like project that you've given them. And meanwhile, do you stay on top of Oleg or do you climb down?
No, he is my mighty steed.
Right,
I
you are
do
always
not leave
mounting
him.
Oleg. AMO, always mounting Oleg.
Yes.
Get that as a bracelet. Alright. So as you're standing there and the goblins are dispersing and dealing with their business, Wiggums, like, looks up at you and goes, where are we going to get all the materials for the goblins to make their own rooms?
The best part is this place still had stuff.
Yeah, so you're saying they should just take apart all the stuff in the house to make rooms with?
The best one who make their room the best with the stuff that's in that room gets new baby.
Wiggums looks
I
like
think that's pretty good.
Wiggums like looks a little like he puts his hand on his face, like he face palms and he goes, how do I stop them from killing each other over random crap?
It has to be in that room, silly.
What if they share a room?
Then they work together in that room. And if they don't work together, they end up killing each other, and then another person can get that room. It's basic goblin politics, Wiggums.
Wiggums just... He sighs and he says, Wiggums will do his best to make sure that they follow the rules and stay in the building.
Awesome. Good job. Thumbs up.
You can already tell that some of the goblins didn't fully understand the instructions because you can see some of them are already arguing about how they move this big-ass fucking thing into the building. Like, Wiggums comes over and he just starts waving the stick at them and he's like, nothing in the yard, only inside! And they, like, scatter. So as the goblins go about their business and then head off to do their thing, that leaves you guys with the rest of your day to figure out what is the next important task at hand. Do you expedite the hunt for goblin criminals? Or do you guys do something else? I am going to say we'll have half an hour left of tonight's session, so I open the floor to any and all goofy-ass initiatives you guys want to do. You don't have to stay as a group. You can go to the town or wander around, do whatever, but consider this your open sandbox moment. So give it some thought, and I'll check in with each and every one of you.
Excellent.
It sounds like you already have an idea, Desi.
No. No. No.
All right.
I would never create a scenario where I could sort out goblins in an easy to handle manner. At all. Ever.
Stop teasing us! Just do it already!
All right, you know what? Just because of that statement, we'll start with Dixie. Dixie, what do you want to do with your time?
What? I think. Hey, Tessie, do you have any great ideas to handle this conundrum we're in?
Yeah, I do, but you know what? You're gonna have to give me one turn's worth of time to explain it.
Hey, go for it.
Yeah. No, you're just gonna have to buy me some time. Don't worry about that.
Buy her some time. How much does that cost?
2 gold coins.
Hold on. Let me check.
Nerd.
I hand her 2 gold coins. My spell DC is 20, bitch.
I didn't actually thought. Thank you. This is actually really helpful.
Do you think that's enough so that you could explain what the fuck you were gonna say?
Yeah. Actually,
Okay,
yeah.
thank you.
Yeah, I'm gonna use prestidigitation to basically aid in making a box, like a little confession booth, and while the others are doing stuff, I'm gonna make a little confession booth, and I'm gonna interview the goblins one at a time, and every goblin that comes in and confesses is gonna get 1 silver. So we're just going to check to make sure they understand the rules and are going to follow them. So I'm going to go over here and we're just going to build that.
Okay, so you're building a goblin confession booth?
Yeah, out of basically just the junk that kind of got destroyed and some of the planks and stuff that are around. She's just gonna, it's just a little shack, and it's gonna make the illusion of privacy, right?
So you know what? We'll come back to that because I really want to see how you managed to do this. Also, yeah, I wasn't. It was not a high DC, but you definitely built a pretty impressive looking goblin confessional. So as that's going on, and Desi is currently building and prepping her confessional, Dixie, what are you busying yourself with currently?
I'm doing this shit. I have to help her. This is for me. This is my storyline.
Okay, all right.
We're exploring the goblins.
I need to find some goblins to
Yeah. We'll be like a comedy duo.
All right, works for me. Meanwhile, Newt, what's your current occupying task as all this shit is going down?
Newt's gonna head into town.
Okay. In search of anything in particular, or just having a day in town?
Who's the Isn't there like a magic shop, or is there like where would be magic people be?
There's a couple of different magic shops. that do different kind of magical related things. So I suppose, I think you've probably been in town enough to know that, like, through rumor and what people say about the place, a couple of these. So let me go ahead and bring that up for you for the exact names. And I will also write down in the notes what I told you, so that way I can come back to it if we need to.
Alright, well, Newt's gonna go to one.
Is there something in particular you're looking for? Or are you just kind of looking for a general magic shop?
She's... just pick one and I'll roleplay Newt asking.
Oh.
Because if I just explain what Newt's looking for, you know, it's gonna ruin it.
Alright. That's fair. Okay, for the time being, I am going to put up the Imagination Glacier screen to cover all the areas that we are moving around. So I guess that I guess in your mind, the best place to start for Newt would probably end up being most likely, I guess the cathedral, really. Going to Daddy Ass Blaster.
Yeah.
Because he is, you know, magical and handles magical shit. The only other thing that really, like... Because there are a couple of other places, but you don't really have any familiarity with them. So to start this journey, I think the most reasonable would be to go look for Father Absolar.
Okay. Yeah, that works.
Alright, perfect. Then I will check in with that as soon as I get what Snooty is doing. What are you doing, Snooty, now that you've enacted Operation Let's see if we can keep my goblins from getting themselves murdered?
As we leave here, she's going to have Oleg close this while everyone's like scrounging around and trying to, you know.
She said scrounging.
I did, because I can't word too good. My brain is floating away from me. She's just be like, Oleg, what you want to do today?
Oleg looks at you like with such a curious look, and he goes, well, aren't we staying to make sure the goblins do what they're told?
Desi and Dixie are doing confession.
Oh. Yeah, I guess Wiggums kind of does that already anyways. I suppose that's why you're keeping him around, yeah?
Yeah.
Hey, what's the deal with him anyways? Like, what's your history?
He used to yell at us a lot. And like, I mean a lot. And he gave us our job to... That's how we got most important into Goblin Roll, is through him. Which is really cool. And he welcomed me into Suck's Frog Tribe. So that was also really cool. But he kind of was like an advisor to the chief. And like, yeah.
Oh, I see. So he's not anymore, I guess, because of all that business with the chief exploding.
Yeah, so he became a mediator for Gobolands.
He nods.
I think that would
be
better title.
I think that's better, honestly. It seems like, however he was handling things beforehand was really, like, dishonest and unpleasant, from what I got from the brief interactions and what I heard from others. I think it's probably good that he's got something more productive to do, but he did seem pretty upset about, you know, everything going on with the chief and such.
I think he liked the thing that came out of the chief. Like how I like Chief.
I see. So there was a goblin inside a goblin, and he liked the goblin in the goblin, but not the other goblin that wasn't the real goblin. He thinks a little bit and he says, "We should go to Crack Tooth."
Okay. Onward!
So, as he leads you to Cracktooth's Tavern, Desi and Dixie, you've now set up your co-op run confessional booth for goblins.
Of course.
You... What was that noise?
My chair sliding in.
It sounded like you were opening the confessional.
That was, we opened the curtains. The veil is parting. Now there is only time for judgment. And free candy. Ooh.
Wait, we're giving out candy in the confessional?
I mean, kind of. Steve and Stevetta. Are they still here, or did they go with Newt?
Newt, did you bring your cadre into town with you, or did you just go solo?
Newt would, unless Desi asked Newt not to.
Okay.
Did you need... If you asked because you said you needed them.
That would make life easier, but they also need to learn town life lesson. I will take this one, and I will now name him Johann.
Okay, he tells you his name is Gork. With a T at the end. Gorked.
Gort. Okay, cool. Alright, so here's the deal, Gort. You're gonna be called Johann now, because you wanna know why?
He asks why.
As I said so. Also, Gort is definitely a name that gets you killed in the end. Like, trust me. Trust me. Having us give you a name makes your survivability go way up. You're good. You're good. You've been chosen.
That is kind of like the first one to die, wouldn't it? Big Gort.
Also, do you bring your starving, horrible-looking dog into town, Newt, or do you leave it somewhere else?
Yeah, I'm bringing... Look. We've taken in lots of strays, and Dix is no exception. We're gotta take care of Dix.
Does Newt have her money?
Newt has some money, but
okay, I'm sure it'll be fine.
Yeah, I'm sure it'll be fine.
Okay. Anyway.
All right. So you draft what? Need, breed. Wow, that is a name and a half.
Oh
thanks.
My God.
Thanks for the follow. Okay, what do you assign Johann to do, Desi?
Okay, Johann, listen to me. This is very important, Johann, okay? Look, maintain eye contact for a moment, okay? You see the shiny coin?
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Because of the way you named him. Yes.
Perfect. Okay, so here's the deal. This will get you things in town. You can exchange it for goods and services based on how expensive something is. Food and drink, usually very cheap. This would allow you to sample things and have a good time. Now, I'm going to give this to you, Johann, but you have to do something for me, okay? This is important tribe business, and if you do a good job, I will give you a gift. I will make you an important cloak.
I'm gonna... Okay, he heard something about an important cloak?
Johann, did you pay attention?
I take a coin and you give me a cloak?
Yes, but you have to do something for me, Johann.
What is that?
Okay, so what I need you to do is I need you to tell the other goblins to come and line up in a line over by this confession booth, okay?
He...
Wait, this is gonna be a really bad comedy duo. I don't understand goblin speak.
so it's gonna be a great comedy duo.
It'll just be blah 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 blah. It'll just be like, yeah, true. What she said, I think. Just realized how bad of an idea that was.
Oh, outstanding. Johann seems to grasp the basic concept of advertising for payment.
Excellent, excellent. Thank you.
All right. He sets out in search of comers to the confession. Meanwhile,
Okay. I'm using prestidigitation above the fucking thing to make it look like a fucking, like, basically fantasy Las Vegas.
oh my god. Okay, okay. All right. all right. Meanwhile, Newt, you head into town and you make your way to Father Abstelar's, cathedral with the acolytes and all that. Are you looking for him in particular to ask him questions?
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
All right. He's in the middle of the cathedral, basically like tending to a day's ritual. He's like blessing some lady, like old lady, and you come in. What do you say?
Excuse me, the ass blaster.
The woman clutches her pearls and looks up in like surprise, and he grimaces and says, "Blessings of the Greater be with you, sister. You may wish to head home." She just kind of nods her head and gets the fuck out of there. And as the lady's leaving, she's just like giving you like a, "Oh my god, is that a fucking goblin" kind of look. Do you react to this old woman, or are you more concerned with Daddy Ass Blaster?
Have a good day, lady. You have a lovely pearl necklace. I hope you have a great day.
She seems taken aback by how polite you are, but just nods like, "Oh, you too," and excuses herself out of the cathedral. Meanwhile, Father Abstelar is just like, what am I able to do for you, Newt?"
I have some very important questions that the ass blaster.
Very well. What is your question?
So I need information on of a magical nature.
I see. And may I ask why?
We are going to have to be fighting a very powerful magical entity.
He looks at you with like a very serious look on his face, and I guess I should put him on screen so that we can truly understand the depths of the serious face that he is bringing to the table. This is absolutely not a serious look because I haven't drawn eyebrows on him, but he or like inclined eyebrows. But just imagine his brow furrows, and he gets down on a knee to like get to more of your level and says, "Are you fighting demons?"
I believe it is a demon of sorts, yes. And we have faced it once before, and I think it has become more powerful with every passing day. And I need your advice on how to go about defending my wives and everyone from it.
He looks very concerned and says, "Are you aware of what creature it might be that you face? What it...
I am not.
What
I know it has a very powerful fire magics.
It looks at you with like a... Or he looks at you with like a concerned face and says, "Do you know what this creature you're facing looks like?"
It has a body made of fire.
I see. So you are fighting something made entirely of flame, and
Yes.
you wish to extinguish it, protect yourself against it?
Yes.
It sounds like you're dealing with a fire elemental more so than a demon.
Oh, I had not thought of that. See, that is why I came to you, that the Buster.
He cringes at the name. And he leans forward and puts a hand on your shoulder and he says, dealing with extraplanar entities of any sort, things that originate from magics, is dangerous and risky at the best of times. You should seek the help of anyone in town who could be more akin to an elementalist. I am only so informed about the ways of the light and the guidance and the dark that dwells within. But if you could make use of what little knowledge I possess to fight such creatures, then I will happily impart it on you.
Okay. Where should I go?
Well, sorry, this is hard to keep a straight face. If you are, do you know roughly how large this creature is? Like, where has it accosted you before?
It's I think it is very large. It takes up a lot of space. And it tends to strike early in the morning, and then it taunts the rest of the day.
It is a consistent foe that haunts you.
Yes.
This is very serious. You're saying that it is a daily occurrence?
Yes. Without a fail, every day.
My goodness.
It only takes breaks at night.
I see. So it is some sort of day-walking elemental creature. Has anyone else seen it?
Oh, yes, many people. My one wife has a problem. And it assaults her daily.
Oh, good. Goodness, that is problematic. It's assaulting your loved ones.
Yes.
That is most troubling to hear. It sounds like you have a terrifying entity to deal with. Can anyone else vouch for its presence, or perhaps help you against it? Is it reliably in a? Does it show up in the same location?
Oh yes, the same location every day.
Ah, then you could lay a trap for it.
That is why I need to find out its weaknesses.
He nods, like looking more resolved, and says, then this horrifying creature that is plaguing your loved ones and your family and keeping you from feeling safe during the day, if it comes from one location every time and is reliable in its arrival and departure, then all we need to figure out is what its true weakness is and how we can deploy it in the greatest quantity before it has the chance to defend itself.
Exactly.
I see. Well, if it is made of fire, then water and ice will be the best solutions. That will quell its rage, and perhaps leave it vulnerable. If you can perhaps submerge this creature, is it possible that you could trick it into entering the ocean, or?
I don't know, it tends to hover very far and strike from a distance.
Has anything been successful in summoning it forth to a closer distance, perhaps to touch it?
Not yet.
Troubling.
I have tried daily.
Well, then my advice to you is the first thing you should do is figure out how to bring it closer so that you can set a reasonable trap for it. Considering the size, however, it may be a difficult task.
point me in the direction of knowledge, Daddy Assbuster.
He nods. He nods. And he said, okay, well, this is definitely where Broadert makes his appearance then. He kind of, like, thinks a little bit, and he says, there's an old compatriot of mine who is, rather well versed in ancient knowledges here. He goes by the name of Broadert Quink. He is, well informed, if a bit long in his years. He can be a little incoherent at times. He is a close friend of... Shut up, Ash! Sorry, I looked at the group chat.
That's weird.
Why, who is Ash, Daddy Assbuster?
Quiet and be silent. This never happened. He looks at you like a little conspiratorially, and he leans in and says, there's a group of us old folk here. Broadert, Ilisari, myself, and the woman who aids in running the Rusty Dragon, Bathana. We meet from time to time in the Rusty Dragon with her when it is a slow day and discuss matters of ancient magics and hypothesize on things. Perhaps you would like to join us, and together our combined knowledge can help you find a solution to this.
Yes. That sounds very helpful.
Good. Then I will convene an emergency meeting of our collective, and we will invite you to discuss with us over a drink. I will keep you informed of when that is able to occur. We will try to expedite it as fast as possible for the safety and sake of well-being of you and yours.
Thank you, Daddy Assbuster.
We'll, like, hug him.
He's gonna look touch like he's fulfilling his purpose in life, and wipe away a single tear as he holds you close as well. And as you pull back, he puts his hands on your shoulders and goes, steel your resolve, young Newt. You will find the answers you seek. It is only a matter of time.
Thank you. I must go back and help my wives. Please let me know as soon as possible.
I will. I will do that for you as soon as I am able. Meanwhile, as Newt returns, we you know, with the little time we have left in the session, I really need to see what comes next in the confessional arc before I have a final conversation with Snooty. So, Desi and Dixie, by now in the timeline, you've managed to acquire a decent lineup of goblins who aren't entirely sure why the fuck they're there. But before the first one is let in, do you want to talk about anything with Dixie, like a plan of action, before you let the first one enter?
Yeah. Okay, Dixie, here's a writing set. So what's going to happen is I'm going to anonymously ask the goblins a series of questions. I'm going to go through all the rules and ask them if they have any plans to hurt Snooty, because before they step in, I'm going to tell them if they answer everything truthfully, they get a shiny coin at the end. And anybody that basically isn't going to follow the rules or wants to kill Snooty, we're going to take them. We're basically going to have the troublemakers out themselves, and then what I want you to do is on the way out, you're going to hand them a coin. And if I say that one, you're just going to write a little note on their forehead.
On their forehead?
Or hand, or whatever.
Wait, what? Wait, like just writing on them? Should I
why?
On their name or something?
Okay. Do you think you can figure out what the goblin is based on what, you know, like, oh, the goblins? You're pretty bad. You can't even speak goblin. Yeah, I'm just trying to help you out here a little bit, okay?
Well, you gotta give me like some sort of signal on if I should like write or not.
Oh, I'm just gonna tell you in common.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, okay, it's fine. Okay.
Damn, Desi,
so
I didn't know you were such a bad bitch.
What? Oh yeah, that you know, and
I hold out my hand for high five.
but a very awkwardly high five because that's the first that this has happened.
I wink and give like a little thumbs up, and then I cast my spell to create just a shit ton of coins.
Good. Okay, perfect. Okay, first goblin, please.
There's a goblin who walks in who looks like he's missing the majority of his teeth and has an eye patch on. And as he sits down, he looks at in the thing and like he's so confused. He's like, "Why the fuck am I here?" Is his reaction. He doesn't say it, but he's like, he doesn't know what the fuck's going on.
Hello, sir. This is a confessional booth. It's going to ask you several questions. If you say everything truthfully, you're going to get shiny coins that you can spend on things in town. That's it. That's all there is to it. Okay? That's it.
What kind of things?
Oh, it's going to pick them randomly. That's all.
No, what do I get with the coins?
You can get food and drink and animals and sex.
The last one, he like his eyes widen and he goes,
"Ask your questions."
Okay, well, to be fair, I'm not going to be asking them. The booth is going to ask them. That way, you know, no matter what you say, you can't get in trouble, you know? Okay, so you just step in here. Yep, I'm going to go behind this curtain.
You need to give me a diplomacy roll. Or, sorry, a deception roll. I'll give him a fucking... Alright. He looks at you and looks at the booth, and there's a moment where you're like, "Oh god, has he seen through my deception?" And he goes, "Sounds good to me." And he just walks into the booth.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. I'm just behind a curtain. I'm Wizard of Ozing this shit with basically my Mega's hat just to speed things along, you know? And I'm just going to run down this thing of basically like, are you going to eat any babies in town? Are you going to steal things? Are you going to set fire? Are you going to follow all the rules?
Whoa. We can fast forward all the rest of the interviews, but you need to go through these questions.
Oh, okay, perfect. Okay, I didn't know how much time we had, so I didn't want to.
I'm here for this now. We're going a little bit longer.
Gotcha. Boop beep boop. I am confession booth. Hello.
Hi.
Good day or evening. Time is a concept beyond my understanding. I am here to listen to your confession.
Okay.
Consent given. Beginning now.
All right.
Answer yes or no when prompted by question. Would you, in town, eat a baby?
He looks a little like...
I can only answer yes or no?
Correct.
Yes.
Okay. Would you eat a baby human in town?
Yes.
Okay. Would you set fire to things in town?
Yes.
Would you steal things in town?
Yes.
Would you pillage and raid the contents of the town?
Yes.
Do you harbor any ill will towards Snooty, Empress of Goblinz?
What ill will?
Any disagreement with her or rules, wishing her dead, or trying to overthrow her?
No.
Excellent. Please exit out the door to get your reward.
Thank you.
Good day.
All right, what do you tell Dixie to do?
Give him a coin and then just mark them so you can keep track of them.
Well, this one must have said some really bad stuff if we're marking him. I'm gonna hand him the coin. I'm gonna draw a little happy face on his forehead.
Okay.
Perfect.
Next, Goblin.
All right, as that goes on, we'll come back to that next session. But before we finish it, I just want to finalize with a little encounter between Oleg and Snooty in Cracktails. So we're gonna go to this here. I am going to bring up the ambience for the tavern, which I still do not have in the upload. So we're just gonna do this one. There we go. Alright. So, we find ourselves now at Cracktooth's Tavern. And it's a fairly, I would say a fairly dead day, during this, it's still the morning, so a lot of people haven't really made it their prerogative to be here. So let me go ahead and activate that there, and we can go ahead and hide the Imagination Goes Here screen. Boodle-doo. And as you enter into Cracktooth, it's pretty dead. Cracktooth has only just like opened the place for the day, and now we have Oleg, and now we have Snooty. All right, perfect. So he walks in, and Cracktooth like looks over his what he's cleaning at the moment. You know, usual typical bartender shit, and just goes, Well. If it isn't the local star, come back to my establishment. Snooty, how about a drink on the house?
Now, Empress title really means good things now. Yes, please.
He kind of gestures to you guys to take a seat at the bar. Do you hop up on one of the stools?
Snooty does that one thing that you would see like kids trying to get onto like swivel chairs, where they're like they grab onto it and they like wiggle their feet, and as it does, the thing starts turning as they're doing that. So like.
Oleg just chuckles to himself and just picks you up and puts you like right on the seat.
She's still kind of peering over, like not fully over, like just her head is visible at the bar as she sits there, and she looks up and she goes, "Okay, hi."
Cracktooth smiles and he cracks open a mid-range drink and pours 2 glasses of it for you and Oleg. And he just kind of holds his hand out, like basically like the no charge gesture. And as he's sitting there with you guys, he just goes, You know, it's really impressive, the kind of things that you've been doing here around town.
Uh-oh.
I haven't seen this much excitement in a week's time over a period, and well, since the murders. Oh, and that big crack, and the whole thing with. Well, anyways, it's been an exciting time, and seeing your rise to stardom has been an interesting experience, to say the least.
I feel very accomplished. We have all of our family and friends, and 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 I am now Empress Gobbo, and it is very weird.
Right, Empress of Goblins. That's pretty impressive. I did, you know, I thought you were gonna at least become a virtuoso or some kind of big name poet or actor before
That's what I
getting there.
wanted to do. But you know, when your husband is chieftain, and then you find out that your husband's actually a big red demon goblin thing, you just kind of become empress.
He nods his head and says, "So that wasn't a like a magic performance thing. It was that goblin actually blew up then, huh?"
Uh-huh.
Huh.
That was my husband, and now I have my wives, but it's still sad.
He takes your hand and pats it like gently in a sympathetic manner and says, "You know, I've had worse marriages, but still, it's heartbreaking. I think what you need to soothe that broken heart of yours
Uh-huh.
is a little bit of food. I will be right back."
Food! Yay! Thank you!
So he excuses himself into the back room.
I like it here.
And as he does so, Oleg kind of leans over to Snooty and says, "You know, this is all seeming like it's gonna get kind of complicated."
Oh, complicated? How?
Well, you're an empress,
Uh-huh.
and generally that means you rule like a whole place with like a lot of cities and stuff.
I rule over this many houses. That counts as a city for goblins.
Yeah, no, you rule over the tribe, the suck frogs, well enough. At least for your first day of doing so, pretty good job, I'd say. Proud of you. But I
Thank
think
you.
it's gonna get like. Don't get me wrong. It's great that you have this title and everything, but like from what I've seen and heard about all kinds of stories and conversations I've had with people in taverns and blah blah blah. Generally, being someone at the top like that means that other goblin tribes, if they hear, an empress of goblins has come up somewhere, they might show up and decide that's a problem for them. So I suppose...
Then we have to make Suck Frog stronger then, so we protect Sandpoint. I like it here.
Well, that's one way. However, the Sandpoint citizens might not take kindly to stronger goblins, and fighting seems to just beget more fighting in a lot of instances. So maybe, look, you come into this town with your friends, and the group of goblins that you are now, you've done a lot of good without ever having to raise a weapon against anything that you didn't have to. I think maybe that's the better way forwards for all of this, is convince them. That play you put on, that was good. That did a really good job of winning over a lot of goblins. And to be fair, if you tried to do something like that with just the general inhabitants of Sandpoint or some other big city like Magnuma, I think that would go really poorly. But goblins seem to respond well to performance and stuff,
Uh-huh.
So I think maybe it would be helpful if anytime you encounter other goblins,
you just play it up. Just ask them if they want to be part of your, kingdom. Queendom.
My empire.
Yeah, that's the one. That's the name. Look at you remembering those big words.
It's because Desi has Big Brian, and she knows what she's talking about, and I think she is really cool.
He smiles to himself as he looks into the drink, and just kind of smirks and says, "Yeah, you've got a very capable collection of allies. I gotta admit, when Denise introduced me to you all before, I thought, well, here it goes. Here's the one thing that turns everyone against old Oleg, Oh, get that half-breed out of here, he's consorting with goblins. I thought that was where I was headed. But turns out I was dead fucking wrong. And I'm appreciative of that fact. It's...
Again, we thought you were just Big Goblin.
Yeah, you're not the only one.
But that's not bad, though.
No.
You know what it's like to be like us. We are looked down upon, usually. But when we show that we're good at something, and we show that we can be useful and helpful and good, people like us.
That's true. That's very true. And you know what? I think that is an important position to take. Is not to listen to the folk who have their opinions about things that they don't understand and go by what has an opportunity to be better. Because before you came into town, I'm going to be honest, I got in a lot of fights. And I haven't felt the need to go pick a few in a long time. And that has been... He kind of is looking for the words to say, looking into his cup, and he says, "Your fun little group of goblins with your cheek and your lack of social whatevers has really given me an idea of what it's like to truly be unburdened by a lot of this shit that has been laid on me day after day, growing up in a town that often means well, but just doesn't understand sometimes. It can make you feel really alone." So he looks over at you and he says, "Thank you for helping me feel not so alone."
Well, you're welcome. Thank you for being so kind to us. Even if we tease you a lot.
He just smiles and says, "Well, it is what it is. I also end up surrounded by a bunch of naked goblin women, so I think it has its perks."
I guess so.
He smiles and raises a glass to you.
Oh, picks up the glass with 2 hands. Listen, she's a tiny ass goblin. She's gotta hold her cups that way.
No, you're right. It's like the fucking prancing pony moment in the Lord of the Rings,
Yeah, exactly.
Being introduced to pints. He raises his glass up and clinks it against yours, and he says, "Well, here's to the reign of Empress Snooty. May it last for 1,000 years."
Yes. And here's to Oleg. Very good friend of the throne. Ting!
And as Cracktooth returns from the back room to lay out 2 piping hot bowls of some kind of mysterious stew, I think for the time being, that
it's Stu Muffin! No, we found him!
No!
No!
No, he's...
Not Stu!
God damn it. No, nobody has turned Stu into Stu yet. For now, however...
What do you mean yet?
Don't worry about that. That was just it was a weird it's how I cough, you know. Nobody's turned stew into stew. Yeah, you know, like the thing in my throat. Anyways, with that moment in the Cracktooth Tavern coming to pass, and all of our wonderful goblins occupied with their various tasks at hand, which, oh my god, every day. I think now is a perfect time, at least for tonight, to call an end to tonight's session.
Hey.
Oh my god, you guys are so fucking goofy. I love it.
I mean, we're goblins, but
I never know what to expect, and I'm always amused with the shenanigans that we get up to during this campaign. So, a reminder to you wonderful folk out there, if you have the opportunity, warband.
oh my god.
Cracktooth ruins the moment by kicking open the door. Jägermeister for the Empress and a mojito for the Empress's bottom.
I mean, is he wrong though?
Yeah, like, is he wrong though?
I don't want to speculate, but I feel like literally being the living mount of somebody for this long doesn't qualify one for a smidgen of bottom status. Just perhaps a dash. But with all that said and done, for those of you who are still with us, thank you very much for being here. For those of you who are watching the video from home, well, where else did you be watching it? Shut up. Anyways, for those of you who are watching the video, thanks
on
for
the train
in.
Or like on the bus or
yeah. No, that was my being like, you could be watching this from anywhere. It's the internet. So yes, thank you very much for being here. We appreciate your continued observance of our ridiculous campaign. Thank you, Critique, for watching the VOD from space. Please, if you have the opportunity, could you go ahead and follow all those links up there for the people who are involved in this project. We have a lot of very talented, amazing people who are involved in this, who have been involved and will be involved. It is a project that is near and dear to all of our hearts and tells a narrative that we have all been enjoying very much. So if you would like it, please show some love and some follows to the people involved. And also, if you wouldn't mind supporting us through contributions of donations, subscriptions, or bits, that would be very, very, very welcome. However, there is no obligation because we don't want you to ride the struggle bus for our benefit. But if you can spare a little bit of extra change lying around, it will help. We always enjoy having resources to improve our broadcast quality with. So outside of that, however, great job, Goblins. A great time as always. Effie, do you want to hunt down us a raid target?
Yeah, I could do that. I guess I'm always hunting. Oh. No, it's okay. Do we do a normal goblin raid?
I mean, I feel like that's a reasonable thing to do.
I just feel like that's a normal. Yeah, I think that's just our normal goblin raid, honestly.
Also, there is a link there for the archives. You start that again.
I fixed it.
Yeah, unraid's your raid.
I fixed it.
We'll be heading out on a raid shortly, but before we do, we just do our little check-in at the end of every session here, just to make sure that everybody gets some piece to say, and we all have a good commiseration about the session. So bear with us as we go down the line, and then we will we'll smash our faces into the great void, and see you next week for. We may have a guest next week as well, so I'm not making promises, but we might have a guest. And
hey, yo, fat.
Did you say a guest?
No, it's not just fat every time, even though that would be really funny.
Yo?
Like, we might have a guest, and it's just literally fat every fucking time.
That'd seriously be really funny, not gonna lie.
Look, Lubick knocks it out of the park with fat every time. I adore role-playing with him, and I hope that I get to do some more projects with him, because fuck that man is hilarious. Meanwhile, though, thank you very much to those of you who are chilling, and if you want to check out previous broadcasts, there's also the archives links there in the links that you can watch some of the episodes that from the past if you guys want to catch up. But otherwise, Dixie, how did you enjoy I can't just between your like you're creeping on Shalelu and your like approaches to all of this stuff with Baba Yaga. It's just making me lose my shit. So how did you enjoy tonight's session?
We gotta get these. I think, like, I was gonna take my time torturing them, but I feel like I'm gonna have to run like speed run torturing sessions because I'm running out of time. I don't have the time to like deal with all of this shit. I need them, and I need them now. And if I don't get them now, then something bad is going to happen.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. I'll get Shalelu someday, and I'll get Baba Yaga to take me in as one of her daughters. I'll make it so that all of the stupid bullshit that I've been saying somehow becomes true. We'll make it there someday.
Yeah, I mean, for the first time in your life, as Dixie, Dixie's first time in Dixie's life, it is like actually an opportunity to properly commune with the entity she thinks is her patron, and technically is. It's just really funny that like now of all times you finally had somebody pick up the phone. So
I look, roll.
You did, and I look forward to seeing how that evolves because I'm very excited to see what kinks in the cog this injects into the narrative.
Hey yo, kinks.
Oh my god. Yeah, the wife rope, that bit killed me. Speaking of wives and ropes, Newt, how did you enjoy your session today?
I always have a blast playing Newt. It's just so fun being able to like do the Newt always seems to like do the unexpected, and it's just fun to play that out.
You're really embracing the goblin chaos, and that's I appreciate that.
Yeah, and Newt's very thankful that she might have a solution to deal with this sun matter.
I can't wait for you to sit down with like the wisest, smartest elders of the fucking town, and basically them realize you're talking about killing the sun.
I was enjoying how like serious he was
I
getting.
could not. If you weren't gonna directly give it away, I was gonna keep playing it up.
Yeah. I didn't want to directly give it away because I wanted it to build because I think it'd be more funny if it gets into exactly where it went actually.
Oh, it's good. It's good. You held it together long enough to progress the level of bullshit, and I appreciate that because I was laughing so hard today that it was I was coughing too hard. It was good though. It's good. So thank you, Newt. As always, Jasmine, I appreciate your shenanigans. Hey Ash, how did you enjoy Snooty today?
I always have a blast, and it's so interesting now because I've never actually played a character in leadership like this. And the fact that I have to play somebody who's incompetent as well on top of it is just like, it's perfect because now I don't have to roleplay anything. It's just like me trying to think like, how the fuck would this work? But no, this always brightens up my week. I've been having really bad like brain shit for like the last 3 weeks now, but Sundays is always the day that makes me happy. Mm-hmm. So I thank you guys so much for being my serotonin of the week that gets me started and piles me through the bullshit that I have to deal with. And I thank you all so much for being amazing.
Yeah, I agree. Thank you for the shenanigans. Also, hello, Persnickety. See you chilling there. And all of you wonderful people in chat. Thank you who are still here and have been able to keep us company during this broadcast. I know we go late, so those of you who can't make it all the way through and have to catch up on the VODs, if you're watching this on the VOD now, just know we greatly appreciate you, and we hope you enjoy the entertainment we provide while we just goof around being, goofy-ass little goblins. But, Effie, how did you enjoy yet more Desification?
I mean, I had a lot of fun. I have to know something though. What was the deal with the goblin? The little goblin outside, the first little goblin that was.
What?
Was
it
that
the
just a little bit
undead
of chaos? Yeah, the one that I shot with the thing and then got tapped in the head.
Nobody went into the forest around the area to follow up on that, so as far as
Yeah,
anyone's aware, yeah, it was just one little goblin.
Yeah, I mean, I loved that you had like this plot hook, and we all just collectively were like,
Of course.
I fucking love goblins. I love everything about it. I love basically the zaniness. I love how we just don't like look at everything and we're like, oh my god, we're the heroes. We have to do this. Like we're just kind of sitting here being like, oh, okay, we should probably do something about that. And then, we put it to a vote. We're just like, I mean, do we? We are goblins. Do we really want to do that? And then sometimes we just all unanimously agree, nah, fuck that shit. We're not gonna go deal with it. Like, there's a dead goblin. All right, that's not abnormal. Thanks for letting us know. I don't know. It is the chaos that I have needed every week, so I can get my little gremlin energy out, do my little gremlin laps running around. And honestly, I just I enjoy it. I enjoy it a lot. So, yep.
No.
Oh,
go ahead.
The YouTube uploads, if you've been paying attention, have been woefully behind, and I actually roped a best girl into putting them up on the YouTube. They should be popping up there shortly. They were doing some rendering and stuff with them. I'm sorry I fell so far behind when I was sick, and I kind of never jumped back on that horse. So those will be up there on the YouTubes for you guys to enjoy here in a few days.
Yeah, no, that's definitely something to make sure that you guys take a look at. Make sure that you keep an eye on the YouTube, which is linked here in the session archives link of that tiny URL. If you guys want to catch up on the backlog of the VODs that have not been posted, they will be up there. And you can catch up on any backlog that you're trying to catch up on, because it would be real peachy McKeen if you did so and shared it with your friends. If you like goblins and you're like, man, hey, random person I know, do you want to watch like 5 hours of stupid goblin bullshit like 36 plus times? Because man, have I got something for you. But seriously, if you have friends who like to kind of listen to this kind of stuff or interact with the roleplay broadcasts on passively, while they're doing whatever reasons they're into it, please feel free to share it around, because we would love to just know that other people out there are enjoying the story we've been telling, and hope it brings some amusement and joy as we all bumblefuck our way through Sandpoint and the world of Galarian at large as just a group of goofy goblins constantly driving a giant metal bird in the sky to alcoholism. So thank you all very much for being here. We appreciate you. And now I think with all that said and done, Effie, why don't you go ahead and smash us out on that raid?
Bam.
All right. Effie, any final words for these homies before we go?
Guys, did you know that Silver made a system called BIRDS? It stands for Billboards Intravenously Railing DILFs. It is an alternative D&D, a game of imagination system. There's no classes, there's no bullshit. You get to do whatever the fuck you want. It's easy to understand, easy to implement, easy to use. If you like 5th edition, but you want some more options, this is what you would like. Because let's face it, 5th edition is the McDonald's of the game of imagination world. Birds is like fine dining. And if you go to his Patreon, you can give him $5 to buy him burgers, because we should love and support our bird. And you can also get your edition of Birds for free, but it would be really cool if you gave him $5.
Yes, Birds is free and always will be free, and it's undergoing refinement and enhancement, and the system will be utilized for a lot of my projects going forwards. So.
Good night, Daddy.
Yes, but we're about to raid out, so have a wonderful night. Say goodnight, goblins.
Good night,
Good
goblins.
night, goblins.
Good night, goblins.
Bye. Dick butt.
Sleep.